not staying. See, you found love, but I'm just staging. Oh, the fire's low, I'm broken inside. I'm still alive, I'm still alive. But you know that we might still get burned. The fire is raging. Wanna run again. With me out and let me breathe again. I'm broken inside, but I'm still alive. Yeah, I'm still alive. The fire is raging. The fire is raging. It's a carousel of words running around, going nowhere. How do you survive while I'm burning alive? Though the flame is there, I'm broken inside. I'm still alive, I'm still alive. But we cannot burn without nowhere. Raging. The fire is raging. Wanna run again. With me out and let me breathe again. I'm broken inside, but I'm still alive. Yeah, I'm still alive. The fire is raging. The fire is
Where do you go when you're young, when you're restless, when you're fun, cause you're desperate? Oh, here they come for a chance, for adventure. What's your poison? What's your pleasure? Oh, my city, she never sleeps, my city, she never weeps, my city, she keeps me alive. Give it up for my city, oh, oh, give it up for my city, oh, oh, give it up for my city, oh, 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 give it up.
I can only imagine how it is to be with you. From the first day I saw your face, I knew this love was true. But you already taken, nothing I can do. So I can only imagine how it is to be with you. I can only imagine us both loving through the night. I can only imagine us together side by side. I can only imagine we're dancing in the moonlight. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. To know if you will be my favorite song, my little melody. If we could be a symphony, then we would be a perfect harmony. I don't want to live this way. I really wish we never knew. Out of sight and out of mind, I don't want to be with you. But the next time I saw your face, nothing I can do. I just have to face the truth. All I want is to be with you. I can only imagine us both loving through the night. I can only imagine us together side by side. I can only imagine we're dancing in the moonlight. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Could be a symphony, then we would be.
Still as a breeze, a river flowing deep. Don't wanna leave the air you breathe. Living vivid dreams when I think of you and me. Don't wanna leave the world you see, and I will hold you down if love is still alive. It's all forgiven to my eyes. The tide has turned around. Just listen to the sound. Two hearts beating
that's all I ask you do. Don't erase me. Silence is a thoughtless way to let go, then to face me. I wasn't always the bad guy in the stories you were told. What are your friends all saying? Hanging on my watch, my thoughts are overrun. To think that you have left me, to think that we are done. I'll go, and you'll never see me. Fight for. Fight for. Fight for me. Would you
Fight for me, that's all you ask me to do. I can't erase you. Silence got the best of me. I let go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Duo Esports Week 8 as ESG Genesis takes on OC Nation for the second time around. Joining me on the casting desk tonight is none other than the headcaster of Duo Esports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a wonderful Week 8 of Duo Esports. The past 2 weeks, as we've seen, we've had interconference play. Today, though, however, we are back to conference play, starting off with the great match of ESG Genesis versus OC Nation. Two teams fighting for playoffs spots as we come in. Shuno, what are you looking forward to in this matchup?
I'm looking forward to ESG putting on a good show on OC Nation. They've looked great all season long, currently at 12-2 and just over 3. More games overall played have indeed ran past AO Phoenix for the number 1 spot. ESG, on the other hand, they've been sitting comfortably at 4th about all season long, roughly, and on a 6-8 record, upset against OC Nation would be a great way to secure that 4th seed into playoffs.
Yes, it certainly would be. As we go forward to look into this, though, however, we do have to bring up, as I apologize for the late start of the cast, we are having teams losing their bans. First off, we're gonna have ESG. We're a little late showing up to the party, so they're gonna be dropping 2 bans, and OC Nation is gonna be dropping 3 bans.
Yes. So a little bit of more discussion between me and you in the early stages of pick ban. ESG gets the one and only ban before we get to the picks, so we got to talk about the picks a little bit.
Yes, we are. I'm sorry, we're dealing with a little bit of issues right now coming into this. However, we are going forward to this right now. We're going to be getting into picks and bans very soon. We're looking forward to this. What I'm interested to look through, I guess, is their starting lineup. So getting into that, ESG themselves, Fridge, again, out of retirement, I guess now fully. I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it. Playing the top lane role. Lay Primate Sekal, the former jungler, captain of the team, that was the Monkeys that ended up dropping out, has now found himself a solid role on ESG in the jungle. Kopek in their mid lane, Aurora and Blade in their AD carry role, and then Imposture as their support. On the other side of it, OC Nation On the other side of it, OC Nation is coming through with big play Jodway in the top lane, Drakenrich in the jungle position, Rage inducing in the AD carry role, Killjoy in the AD carry position, and Combat Killer in their support.
Yeah, and that's kind of been a little bit of most recently the more starting roster of OC Nation. They did have a bit of a mix in the jungle before with swapping players around, but Drakenrich had a very good showing a couple weeks ago for OC Nation, picking up a 2-0 against Nips and EG. We'll see if we can carry that momentum into this game.
Yep, it is now. Of course, we are looking to wait out a couple of these first bans. There's only going to be one ban in the first half as we wait for this to go come through. So are you looking to see any picks? I've unfortunately been away doing my real life job, so I haven't been able to really keep up with League as a meta and a League as a shift. So Shuno, what are you looking forward to seeing played?
I'm still keeping my eyes on the jungle a little bit. Drakenrich, as I mentioned, had a strong performance against EG and Nips, both of which on the games he played Sejuani. And normally, it's kind of a bit of a strategy going with the Toronto-Sejuani matchup where Toronto kind of just auto-wins due to his Subjugate taking all of Sejuani's stats. That strategy is off the table now with there only being a single ban option. I think that solely off of the fact that ESG are on the blue side, we could very realistically see the Sejuani to come through for Drakenrich on the red side for OC Nation.
Yep, we definitely see that coming through. I would assume, I've always believed that, again, Trundle is a great first pick priority for the blue side. With no bans coming on for OC Nation, maybe you'd see a Trundle lock in. It really sort of gimps what any team wants to do as we continue to wait this out.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of the meta, not too much has changed. You still have, even though Ezreal fallen off a little bit, still now the little holy trinity between himself, Lucian and KIS. So I might see those AD carries. His crit is still not fully restored to what it was before.
Yeah, it certainly is coming through. I know recently we are playing on the new patch, so we are definitely looking forward to what I can see. Very quickly, I know there's been a lot of complaints about this patch. This patch really doesn't fix much of what the major issues are, as we finally get to see the one ban of the first rotation, which is going to be the Yeso. I would say a decent first pick, right? Rage Inducing has popped off on that a couple times.
Yeah, definitely. And for the only ban that we have so far in the draft, not bad at all. A good takeaway from OC Nation. They still have a bunch of other pocket picks in their disposal. Fiora for Jodway, it's one we've talked about so far, albeit he has a slew of other top laners. The first pick for OC Nation, actually for ESG, I forgot that there's a third ban. Be rolling through. What do we think it might be?
I would say always take the Trundle first pick. I think Trundle has proven to be one of the stronger junglers in duo esports right now. If you're going to take something tanky here, which is usually the safe pick, with it is, but they do lock in the Trundle. I was going to say, if they allow Trundle to go through first rotation, I would assume OC Nation is going to pick it up.
Indeed, and now, well, becomes a little bit of a sticky situation for OC Nation. They may not want to go with the Sejuani. We're going to have to see a little bit more of what Drakenrich can play. Jodway and the rest of OC, though, they're going to be having a field day.
Yep. I would expect to see maybe a Clegg coming out on the top lane, something a little bit more AD carry or damage focused, like a Fiora. Fiora, a great first pick into Eternal. You're going to have to look for a lot more like a duelist comp coming out from OC Nation because of the Trundle pick. You're not going to be able to get insanely tanky on some of these champions unless Drakenrich is going to feel like he can outplay Less Primus Tekel into the jungle. Gragas is one of these semi tanks, as I like to call them, with the AP level build usually. So I'm assuming we're gonna see like the Magus jungle item come out, and then maybe like get semi tanky in terms of getting a lot of health statistics and be able to pick off fights that way.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good setup for them. I haven't seen Gragas jungle in a while. And I'm just kind of loosely tossing around being in the jungle. It could be, for all we know, in support or mid, albeit much less likely. For now, I'm going to say it's in the jungle until proven otherwise. It's a good CC tank for the most part, and it's going to supply OC Nation with a little bit of what they don't have right now, which is disengage, which is tank.
Yep. Definitely a good look here, though, as we see from ESG, their bot lane, I would have to assume their bot lane being locked in KIS, Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks, one of the great harassing laners in the support role right now. And then Kaiser herself, even though she has been nerfed a little bit, one of the better, sort of AD carries that are left in the bot lane. What I find super interesting, actually, is the fact that coming into this last rotation, OC Nation has picked both their solo laners unless they're flexing the Vladimir into bot lane. So Aurora and Blade and Fridge have their choices of what their counter pick are gonna be.
Yeah, they do have that as an option right now, and with counter picks, Kopek not going to be able to get his 0 today. We saw what he was able to do on it, and why was banned away from him for a while now. Will be one of the bans on the side of OC Nation, as well as the Dr. Mundo ban away from Fridge.
Yep. So this leaves, always the joke is, right, Singe is now on the table. Fridge loves playing Singe. I would probably say we may see something more tanky coming out, or semi-tanky coming up against the Fiora. A Gnar would be a good choice there. I don't know if Fridge really plays the Gnar. And then Xayah locked in for the bot lane for Killjoy.
Yeah, not a bad pickup. Jhin was banned away from him by ESG. Xayah, pretty strong pickup though, and I don't think that would have been on the radar for ESG to ban away, and not the most hotly contested ADC at the moment, but still pretty good with that ultimate and the invulnerability that she gets from that.
So top lane pick here, Cassiopeia picked up for the mid lane for ESG. Certainly something interesting. A lot of AP damage coming through from ESG side. I would look to see something a little tanky here, like a Malphite. Makes sense. Coming out of the top lane that's just going to be able to live through the Fiora.
Yeah, and I'm starting like what ESG have built up so far. They have a very scary wombo combo-esque comp here between the Malphite and the Fiddle. See how well they can pull it off. As OC Nation, they have one pick left, and it's going to be Zyricon.
Zyricon, one of it was earlier in the year the strongest bot lane in the game at the moment, paired up. Certainly a tough Rakan, I've always felt, is one of the tougher supports to execute, so Combat Killer is going to have his hands full trying to navigate through this, especially with such a, and I don't mean this in an offensive way to Imposture, but to such a brain-dead support champion like Fiddlesticks, where all you have to do is literally press a button and it's point and click, and you get fears and force people out of lanes.
Yeah, definitely not the most complex champion in the game out of Fiddlesticks. Kind of just sit there, use your abilities, play safe, but many times the Fiddlesticks kind of overextends and thinks they're more powerful than they actually are, and that's a great way to kill a Fiddlesticks, for just overextending in a lane trade or something along those lines. All in all, we're at a spectator delay, and something interesting right off the bat I've noticed, Warhead. Do you notice that?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I really don't notice it.
Okay, you don't notice it. It's perfectly fine. TP on Xayah, but not on Kai'Sa. How much do we think that's going to change things up?
Truthfully, what I've always felt when playing in solo queue is if I see a bot lane teleport, the Kai'Sa, the lane without the teleport is gonna roll over, because the only thing a teleport does in low elo is just let you get a kill quicker. This is the second kill quicker. Like, and I'm sorry, that may be offensive to hear, but a lot of people in low elo don't actually understand how to fully utilize the teleport, especially after this patch. They absolutely butchered it and raised this cooldown by like a minute, and then the fact they also removed it, the fact that they canceled it. All Xayah is really going to be able to do here is teleport back into lane after she dies or gets shoved out. Like, it's not going to really offer that much of actual do anything potential. So assuming that the Kai'Sa is able to use her heal in a semi-efficient manner, she should be able to, actually, like, win the lane off of the fact that they have 2 like combat summoners to Rakan and Zaya's 1.
Yeah, in terms of trading, I can see, unless there's like a really good double knock-up and a lot of damage already on the ESG bottom lane, I could see things going in favor of OC Nation, but for the most part, the teleport really isn't used for aggressive plays, especially on Xayah. Against Malphite Fiddle, that seems like a suicide plan right there. I think if anything, you get the teleport mainly because you want to not lose that wave that's getting shoved in under the turret. So if I'm on the SC Nation bottom lane, my goal is to push this lane in constantly, in fact, just make sure that that summoner spell advantage is on my favor.
Yeah. Well, the truth is most teleport situations go like this, right? In low elo. And a fight breaks out, a team calls for a fight, 3 or 4 seconds later the teleport channel begins to happen. When the teleport channel begins to happen, by the time it completes, the fight's already over. That's why I don't think teleport is really good anyway, especially now that they raised the cooldown by a minute. It's, 330 seconds? So it's a 6-minute cooldown now for teleport without any reductions in CDR and stuff through masteries and runes. So it is something that, like, at this point, if you use your teleport, like, you're not going to be able to have... You don't have a summoner for 6 minutes. Or even, what is it? It's going to be, 300... It's going to be 5 minutes or something like that with general rune reductions.
For the most part, yeah. All in all, we'll see how it pans out with these teleports. I imagine if you had to pick a comp that you like more, whose would you pick?
ESG is by a mile.
All right.
ESG has a ton of wombo, a ton of team fight. I'm also a strong believer in basically anything under diamond. Like, the better your team comp is, in team fights, the more of a chance you have to win the game, because most teams don't actually most teams to the level of where it's super proficient players don't understand how to execute a more complex comp such as a team fight comp. So really, when you're looking at a team fighting for a competitive series, what you really want to see is great team fighting comps or great pick comps where you can pick and skirmish and get objectives and push that way.
Here's the thing with ESG's comp, and I'll let you go first. How about that?
Okay, I'm sorry. What I was gonna say, I guess the one big thing that you're gonna see here is if Bigway Jodway can get a little bit of a lead, maybe he can snowball off of that into 3 items. I've also seen a lot of situations where the Fiora can get 3 items and then can't be killed anymore and just can't be split pushed, and that's the way the game will end. So that is definitely an option to see, and maybe you can see a 1-3-1 if OC Nation has a bit of a lead coming through.
Ideally on the side of OC Nation. I really want to see how this Gragas pick is going to work out. I haven't seen too much of it. It has an electrocute, which tells me he's looking to go in for the ganks and possibly even more just for as much damage as possible, which that's a good strategy. I like it. But I need to see how it responds to the Trundle healer, because I can see up in the top lane, Malphite very tanky, hard to kill Fiora. Let's say she really starts pressing, it starts to get a kill Trundle. Perfect ganking opportunity right there. So, well, I would actually say I like OC Nation's comp a little bit more just due to how it functions. I do need to see how these top lane ganks come out.
Yeah. Standard, as we get into this, I was going to say I don't really see any type of invades coming out. There's not really any strong invaders on this team. So standard 5 points, but in reality it's a 4-point stance for OC Nation. So a little bit of sloppiness there, but at this type of elo you don't really gain information much anyway. So nothing really wasted there, nothing really to be able to capitalize on.
Yeah. So far, just very standard 5-point spreads. Neither team really being good at invades at all. In fact, both are pretty terrible early on. Don't think too much would come out of OC Nation if they were to try and invade, just with how their abilities functions and how that can screw the laners over.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting here. I have to think, just off of my mindset, the Gragas clear is going to be pretty unhealthy to Trundle's really healthy clear that comes from his passive and stuff like that. So maybe Trundle is going to be able just to walk in and take over the jungle and get off more effective ganks, even though I do think Gragas actually has a stronger gank coming out.
Yeah, optimally, that should be the case. The bottom lane, though, a lot of poke actually being exchanged with this Fiddle and with this KIS pick.
Yeah, definitely one of the stronger reasons why I think this bot lane is so heavily favored in front of CSG. Basically, Fiddlesticks is able to just come over and poke it and poke over and over again. But I want to point this out, right? So, what is it? Drakenrich decides to go take Scuttle, right? Bot lane after taking blue. At the time he's been able to take blue and Scuttle, Trundle right now is going to steal away his red. And has already taken his blue and his own red and a Scuttle. So currently, while Gragas is trying to figure out where Trundle is, he's getting 3 buff.
Actually, while we're with Gragas and Trundle, a little bit of a smiter in the jungle where Drakenrich has not come out on top of his double buffs for Le Primate Sequel. Definitely an advantage on the side of ESG Genesis.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Gragas had to panic a little bit when he came over and realized what was happening. Didn't get the opportunity to miss smite. Not that it even would have really mattered because Trundle had a level up on him at the time with the 3 buff happening. So Gragas now forced without a red buff, which honestly isn't probably like the worst thing that can happen to a Gragas. Gragas really mana hungry, so if it would have been a lot worse if it was his blue buff that got taken away. Is now forced to clear the jungle, missing a lot of XP. Is going to probably be super behind from that, as Trundle is going to probably look to keep invading and poking at this Gragas as his clear is low, and I think probably Trundle would probably be able to outdo it.
Yeah, would be a little scary if that were to happen. Nonetheless, either way, a little bit of action, not really, in terms of just trading. That's about the most that we have so far here. But it looks like there might be an early Dragon take on the side of ESG.
Yep, pinged out by, what is it, OC Nation, as they don't know what it is, but it looks like it's almost going to be gone pretty soon here. Gragas really not in a position to really do much, though it looks like they figured it out, and teams are now in trouble.
That they are. In fact, Fiddlesticks very low, will go down for first blood. OC Nation, they've picked up one. Can they pick up a second on Trundle? Le Primate Sequel running away. There's the Ignite. There's the Blast Cone. It's not going to matter. Comet Killer picks it up.
So a little bit of greed, probably thinking they were overdoing their lane, threw it out. Rakan, little bit of danger here. They were looking to dive. The red buff, unfortunately, going over to Rakan. Rakan, I don't know how much pressure he's gonna actually do on that, thanks to the Ignite, and he also blew both summoners in order to secure that kill. On top of that, Rage Inducing also burnt his ghost, but Vlad is such a safe champion, it doesn't really matter much.
Yeah, definitely the case here. Vladimir, very, as you just mentioned, very safe, very able to stay at a distance, and even if he does get jumped on, we'll be able to use that Sanguine Pool just to get out even further. The main problem for Rage Inducing in this lane, though, is what might be an early CS lead for Kopek, and just the lane as a whole. Cassiopeia is such an impressive champion that really no laner can go toe-to-toe with her in the early stages of the game. So far, Rage Inducing's done a good job of that, but Kopek's going to have to start put on a little bit more pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming we're going to see, right? I think Kopek's played this once already in lane. He'll start getting this poke down post level 6, which he just did. He just hit, so I'm expecting to see this lane start to pop off a little bit. And the unfortunate thing is Trundle really can't gank the mid lane. Vladimir's such a safe champion to farm. There's not much they can really do. in order to stop it.
Not too much they can stop it in the mid lane. As we say that though, Trundle stumbles across a control ward, takes that out, chomps it, and goes back into his jungle.
Yeah, at this point it's just farming. I think both teams are looking to get a early gank. Gragas, I think, had actually the right idea, but the fact is Gragas is so far behind right now because he's, you know, been walking around this map without much to do. With losing his red buff in the first clear, is probably the best bet is to look top level 6 to get an easy kill onto Fridge.
So far, top lane has been very, very quiet, and Fridge is in a pretty good spot against Jadway. CS just about dead even. Doesn't have to worry too much in this lane as he is a Malphite. He is very tanky. What might be worrisome in the bottom lane. Orm lane getting jumped on. There's the flash from both ESG bottom laners. And so far the roam from Rage Inducing doing good work. He's going to be able to do a little bit more damage on the back half. So far that's all she wrote, but we might see a dive here on the bottom lane. There's the Killer Instinct, hops right on towards him. There's the knockup, it's not gonna land though, so it's gonna put Comet Killer in trouble. He will get taken out. There's Fridge to pick up one kill. Will a bit of pick up the second. Yes, he will. A double kill coming in for Fridge so far. Rage Inducing flashes in, takes out Imposter, but at what cost is it gonna be? Trying to get away, not gonna be able to do so. Blade picks up the third kill.
So, like I said in the pregame about the teleport, right? That teleport, it worked out really well, but it worked out really well because Combat Pillar ended up taking 3 shots from the turret because he walked into turret range while Fiddle had his fear up. The teleport comes in 3 minutes late. As soon as they realized that Gragas was coming in for the dive, Malphite should have backed off and started teleporting to the turret to fight that. But he ends up taking the opportunity to, I guess, get farm or back off to a safe position in order to start teleporting. They get to clean up there because of the sloppy dive.
Yeah, definitely good capitalization on the side of ESG Genesis. It looked good for OC Nation at the start, but a couple of turret shots tanked too far, and suddenly ESG able to make it even.
So, now, I don't know if they'll utilize it this way. But what would be interesting to see now, as
wait, we have another dive actually. This time, will it go in favor of OC Nation? Yes, it will. Barely. Killjoy picks up the kill, but has barely any health at the end of it.
Another late turret dive that works out a little bit sloppy. Their dives have been very sloppy earlier, but Fiddlesticks can't be walking up there like that by himself. That's going to happen 9 times out of 10. But what I was going to say, though, with this extended, teleport cooldown, you're going to see OC Big Play Jadway having the teleport advantage. I would say if I was shot calling for OC Nation right now, we'd be looking to make a dragon play and a first turret play on bot lane because Fridge is not going to be able to answer Fiora teleporting.
He definitely wouldn't. The question for Jadway is, though, really the most optimal time for him to use that teleport to aid his team, because right now, just about dead even in CS, but the goal obviously in favor of Fridge with the 1 assist and the 2 kills. Jadway goes for the TP, it has to count. Actually, a little bit of action in the mid lane, flash and the heal and ulti, all used by Kopik just to keep him alive on this one. And now it might get turned on Le Primate Sekel. He will also have to run away. Doesn't look like it's over just yet as both these teams trying to catch the other one out.
See, now here's the issue that happens, right? In reality, if they fight or not, because I think Fiddlesticks is about to try to ult and get a big ult off, Fiora is going to be in perfect position to teleport once this team fight starts.
Well, Fiddle can ult if he's caught out early on in the fight. The quickness used onto Kaisa Ormblade. There's the Killer Instinct. It's not going to do enough, though. He's going to get chased down and feathered down A double kill coming in for Killjoy.
I mean, I don't know really what much to say there because Jadway, I feel, misplayed. He decides to teleport top instead of teleporting mid. This is an easy opportunity for one dragon and the first turret bot lane. Instead, I don't know if it wasn't communicated, but he decides to teleport top lane, and instead of teleporting to a turret, and now they have the only option they have is to go get kills without getting another opportunity at any more objectives. On the flip side of this, ESG decides for some random reason, Imposture decides to walk up to position for this, allowing them to get caught out and not even to let a fight properly take place. And now he's about to die again.
He is about to die again. Comet Killer picking up another one on the scoreboard here. While we're with getting caught out, the OC Nation extended a little bit more than they may have wanted to. And the Fremate Sakal, some fancy shoes, does manage to pick up a kill for himself on Drakenrich on the back half. Once again, though, very dangerous stuff in the bottom lane. ESG may not be safe by their own turrets here. Ignite thrown onto Oranblade, who flashes into them and manages to pick up a kill. Can he turn it into two, though, where we get mopped up by Comet Killer? There's the feather, there's the flash. Can he get away? Yes, he can! Just barely. KIS with a double kill.
Man, that would have been so different if Killjoy had taken heal instead of teleport. But what a great play there by Oranblade right there, flashing forward, understanding the damage that her character can take out, as it now looks like without the teleport, they're going to be able to shove forward and put damage down onto this bottom tier 1 turret. Though I don't expect it to be taken right now. Vlad on the roam as well right here, looking to re-engage. I would have to assume re-engage this at some point.
But how confident do you feel? I'll be a 1v3. Now up in the top lane, a 2v1 for Fridge. Use the unstoppable force defensively, but it's not going to matter at all. He will get blasted back as the sword goes right into him. Jadway with his first kill of the game.
Well, unfortunate. I guess I didn't see the turret damage that happened there.
The only unfortunate thing right now is what's about to happen on the side of Cassiopeia. Kopek will be going down here for sure. No way to get out of it. Almost managed to turn it into a kill on a rage-inducing, but still, the roam out of OC Nation turns out successful.
Yeah. What I was gonna say. So first off, there's a couple things. I guess I didn't see the damage done on the turret because they shredded that turret. Conversely, great job by big play Jadway there to dodge Malphite's ultimate with Fiora's slide, because without that he may have had an opportunity to get out of there without getting constantly wailed on by the Fiora walking away. But that's going back to what I said. If Fiora had just teleported to the dragon fight, they would have gotten dragon and bot lane turret and first turret for that, and also they would have been able to get back up into position in top lane to get that gank off and then take tier 1 top. All in all, though, I guess you could say this is a pretty even game coming out. 1 turrets to 1. Actually dead even right now in gold is something I've very rarely seen. We can look at where this gold is. Looking at this right now, Gragas is going to be very close to buying something big, we would assume. And other than that, we have a ton of gold put down onto the 301 Kaiser right now.
And indeed we do. Rift Herald now the focus though for ESG Genesis. If they could get that would be great for them. Imposture going for a very strong extension and initiation when his team isn't there. The Miasma will be able to slow down OC Nation. ESG, they secure the Rift Herald.
Yeah, I thought they were going to look for a fight there. OC Nation deciding not to. I guess most of their ults not back up yet, specifically Vladimir's, which is going to be a ton of their damage coming out in these mid-game team fights. Fiddlesticks as well. Imposture maybe not being as confident on this champion as he should be. Playing this champion very awkwardly.
Wait a second. OC Nation? I don't think they fully understood that the turret was right there. Comet Killer tanks another shot and might just be in trouble here. It's 2 members of OC Nation already down as they forget about the turret.
Yeah, there should actually be a tier 2 coming up with the Rift Herald. Oranblade getting a little bit ahead of himself. Great turn of events there for ESG.
Yeah, very good stuff, in fact. with the Rift Herald being at basically 4,000 health, so that's going to do a lot of damage. There is not a minion wave there just yet automatically, as Kopik takes out the top lane turret, so it's still 2 turrets for ESG Genesis.
2.5 turrets. Rift
2.5.
Herald.
Alright.
Yeah, Rift Herald did half the damage, which comes out to be a lot because it basically means any long, like a long stacking wave in the mid lane they have to answer it, else they'll drop their tier 1 mid or tier 2 mid. Fiddlesticks again out of really position. Oh, I guess there is a Malphite there. I did not see that. I was gonna say really out of position right now. Fiora could easily 1v1 him with just one item himself, and Fiddlesticks not even having yet a Zhonya's.
Yeah, definitely. So far, a little on the rough side for OC Nation. Kopik doing good work in this mid lane, and something I do want to highlight right now is the fact that he has no kills. That's pretty relevant in the sense that the gold between him and Rage Inducing is dead even in this mid lane. There's already about a 50 CS lead in favor of Kopik. If Kopik can get just a couple of kills, maybe 1, maybe 2, then that is going to be a skyrocketing gold lead for the ESG mid laner.
It certainly is. I think Kopik right now is really the key to ESG's victory. Can they set up for a big team fight here, get a decent team fight coming forward? Imposture, though, looking like he's about to be caught out again, though. Looking for the fight, in fact.
Pro Storm, there's the unstoppable force. That is Drakenridge gone. As 2 more members of OC Nation might be following. A good turn from Killjoy. How much is it going to matter, though? It's only going to be the 1 kill on the board. A double kill coming in for Armblade. Is it going to be more low health? KIS will not get taken down. ESG coming up good in this team fight here, as it's only going to be Vladimir Rage Inducing on the side. There's the pillar. There's the Twin Fangs. And there's the ace for ESG Genesis.
That must be so frustrating for OC Nation. OC Nation, a great team, needing to know that Fiddlesticks is going to be right over there after you just saw him on the map. That the Fiddlesticks is going to be there and probably looking to ult over to get that team fight. Imposture showing good awareness of where he can team fight and where he's looking to get those team fights in. Maybe this could be a turning point for him coming forward if he can get his score a little bit under control and get a Zhonya's.
Optimally, yes, and things are getting rougher and rougher for OC Nation. So far, the gold, not too drastic, about a little over 4,000 in favor of ESG Genesis. Not the end of the world, as both teams do share a Mountain Dragon. I am going to have to see OC Nation, not necessarily play proactive, but play a little bit smarter. They're going up for these turrets when they don't have 5 men, and when they don't have any vision either. It's going to be a little rough for them, but so far, they're not playing like the OC Nation we've seen all season long.
Yeah, it is incredibly interesting to see it. Can they eventually get to a position where their team fighting, though, will be able to lead out, or is it going to be an opportunity that Fiora here is going to be able to, get 3 or 4 items and carry the game 1v9 like we've seen Big Broadway capable of doing?
Alright, what with 1v situations, that should be a dead KIS. For all intents and purposes, it's not actually Armblade with a good killer instinct to keep himself alive in that one. A little bit overextended, but doesn't go down for it.
This should maybe be a tier... it's going to be definitely a tier 1 bottom. Probably should be a tier 1 mid as well, so 2 turret swings off of Armblade's mispositioning.
Yeah. Finally, OC Nation pick up their second turret of the game. It took them a couple of suicide attempts underneath that turret to pick it up, but finally, 20 minutes into the game, they do pick up the tier 2 mid turret and what might possibly be also a bottom turret to even it out.
I don't know if you just saw this. Cassiopeia just blew her ult. That's a big ultimate for their team fight.
I'm gonna call that a misclick, but what might also be a miss is Drakenridge on this one. Very low, almost gets taken out as really good knockup coming on the side of OC Nation, but where's the damage when they need it? It's getting run over by ESG. Kopik now on a killing spree as a 2v4 coming in. KIS underneath the turret does go down. Now Jodway, the next focus. ESG Genesis coming good in this fight. The last member of OC Nation up, rage inducing. Can he clean the fight up? He's on a fridge, the tankiest man in the team. The snake's gonna have to slither around away from the turret. Can she get away? No, she can. The Hemoplague should be able to take her out. It's one kill coming in for rage inducing. Will it be a second? Fridge doesn't go down to the turret shot. ESG have to run away from this one. It looks like they should be able to.
Another semi-late teleport there coming in, starting that fight off in a fight they really didn't want. Jodway, it may have been in their best interest just to say Drakenrich is dead because he got caught by the Trundle Pillar Malphite ulti combo. Let's give up this turret, regroup under in our base, and prevent the siege, the extended siege from happening. Almost worked out really bad for ESG. I would have to say they played that pretty well with only losing one member after a level 11 Vlad runs up to them while all three of them are stuck in their enemy's base. Vladimir could have had the opportunity there for a big triple kill if they had decided to stack up and allow that AoE to really take control of them.
Yeah, it definitely would be. Both these teams are playing very sloppy. I have to throw that out there. OC Nation are going for aggressive turret dives that aren't working when they're behind, and ESG are also going for aggressive turret dives they don't have to take when they're ahead. So even though there's a minor gold lead right now in favor of ESG, the game's basically even. 4-3 in turrets, Baron Asher on the cards, and I'm pretty sure OC Nation know what's going on.
Yep, but no teleport from Fiora.
Could make this fight not go in their favor. Fridge and ESG are absolutely gonna murder OC Nation before Jodway even gets to the fight. That is an automatic 2 kills on the side of OC ESG Genesis, and it might just be a third. Both 80 carries ulting in front of each other. Orenblade picks up the kill, and what a turn!
Yep, definitely what we're looking for here. Big team fights coming out of the way of ESG. ESG's key to this victory is getting these consistent team fights before another team can really get into position. Now Drakenrich, the only option he has is to try and steal this away with his ult. But if he actually was able to time this, which I don't think he was able to do it, he has the smite advantage here.
No, he doesn't, but he can't get in the pit in time, and that's another kill, another miss attempt on the side of OC Nation. ESG Genesis 21-15. That is looking like a massive goal lead to come on to them to boot with the Baron buff.
This is definitely a moment where I think this game is... how do I put this? OC Nation really needs life support right now, needs CPR, needs to do something in order to keep themselves alive, do something, win like a crazy team fight, get a strong pick. Fiora right now only at 2 items, needs to get her Sterax or whatever she's going to get as her next item to really do anything coming forward, be able to put herself in a position to carry, because right now I don't even think that OC Nation is going to be able to contest this dragon if the team decides to fight.
This Inferno might be costly for them at all costs. Common Killer not able to land another knockup. ESG are very strong, and they are flexing their muscles in this team fight against OC Nation, who may not even want to be here. A double kill coming in for Orenblade, and just like that, that is an ace for ESG Genesis.
That was a 4v5 ace. I don't think Cassiopeia was in that fight the whole time. They basically walked up one by one and died. They really need to understand that they are not in a position to really do anything aggressively at this point. Need to be able to 1-3-1, poke the siege lanes out with kill with Gragas, Xayah, and Rakan, and try to save off their mid lane while everyone else pushes. But to ESG's credit, they did a great job letting these side lanes slowly push. They are going to be in the opportunity to get basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turrets and 2 inhibitors if they play this right.
Yeah, they've set the waves up perfectly, and they have been dictating the pace of this game. Heck, they can go for another ace if they want to. On ESG, Jodway is dead. OC Nation members are about to be falling left and right. The only kill they might get is on a Fiddlesticks, but that's not going to mean anything. Dragonrich goes down. Another slew of kills for ESG Genesis. The triple kill for Orenblade, and that should be game.
That should be game. Great way to understand that, and again, looking at what the BSG is, the team fight, major team fight compositions. Oh, Aurora Blade, if he's not careful, is about to die. But he walked out. Team fighting wins the way again as we start off week 8.
Yeah, and ESG Genesis, they're looking so much better from how they started off in the beginning of the split here. Upsetting OC Nation, who currently, at least, #1 team in Group A, 31-16, and a completely different story from how we saw the first teams face each other. First time around, OC Nation with the 26-minute sweep. Second time around, ESG Genesis come up hard, and was honestly one of them so far.
Yeah, really a great understanding of what they wanted to do coming in there. I'm wondering if the bans, not having the first round of bans for OC Nation really changed anything. Great showings by the KIS and the Trundle. Could we have seen both of those champions banned out, as well as the Cassiopeia? Questions we would have to really wait, I guess, until we get to playoffs, if these two teams were able to face each other in playoffs coming forward.
Yeah, I mean, I just have to get, OC Nation, they made a couple of greedy overextensions, don't get me wrong, but that matchup I feel is well on the side of ESG. There are definitely a couple of questionable plays early on in the bottom lane, but nonetheless, they still played the mid game, and if you could call it the late game, very, very well. They knew how to team fight. They got the Baron when they needed to. They did everything right with a couple of flaws in the early game. Excellent stuff to come out of this team, and what possibly might be securing the 4th seed for them. There's nothing confirmed, but very likely after that performance, that feels like a 4th seed right there.
And I believe right now, if everything hadn't stayed the way as we've last seen over the past couple of weeks, this would be a first-round matchup, right? The 1 versus the 4. So this is a very telling game. I wonder if this is going to be something we see in a best-of-3 series, because if we do, right now they're tied 2 apiece. It will be important to see coming up. But let's take a moment to look at the damage. Orenblade doing 20,000 damage, leading the room and leading his team significantly. What a great game from him himself, and Vladimir as well, getting off a couple of those roams, coming off with a less impressive score damage ratio of 1,800, but Zaya as well coming up at 1,600. So the game was probably a little bit closer than if you were just to look at this damage chart, the damage was definitely closer than it seemed. Big play Jodway not showing up as we're used to, with only 5,000 damage dealt. I guess then, is there anything you would like to take a look at, Shuno, in terms of objective damage or anything like that before we move on to Duo Esports' favorite group, favorite stat, vision score?
No, let's move straight to vision score. I think you covered it pretty good.
Cool. So looking at vision score itself,
we have a bad boy in the house. Someone figured that control wards was not worth their or their team's time. Nonetheless, good performance on KIS, but a vision ward, even a single one.
You know what? I'm gonna actually say that's not the worst thing we're seeing here in the vision score, right? We've always said this is bad, but for a 26-minute game, so a 25-minute game, Cassiopeia only having a vision score of 3 is kind of shocking when you think about it. You should be able to get a vision score of 3 just from your lane score. You should be able to double that in your lane phase alone. It shows a real lack of warding coming out of Kopek, which could be taken advantage of in the future.
Possibly. Definitely good spot out on that. Did buy a control ward, but had lower vision scores to where basically all of the vision and vision score on the side for Orenblade did come out of the trinket. Still some effort to throw some wards, and I feel like you still could have at least put a control ward with that 75 gold you had on the back. Nonetheless, great performance out of ESG instead of OC Nation. 26-minute game, how much do we take away from what they have?
I think this is definitely something. This is going to be an interesting matchup going forward. I would be really enjoying this matchup if we could see it in a best of 3 moving forward.
All right. Fair enough. Another way, incredibly solid stuff to come out for ESG Genesis. That is their 7th win of the Bronze Silver Gold competitive series this time around. Great stuff. OC Nation, they're still at a very strong position either way, sitting at 12-3. Very strong place to be in nonetheless. The next matchup will be right around the corner, though. What is it, you might ask? Well, it's going to be none other than Havoc taking on Skill Clap Gaming. We'll see which one of these teams have to come out on top. What do you think, Warhood?
It's hard to say. I've always been a fan of Skill Cap Gaming, but coming off from the past week that we saw Skill Cap not really having a good showing, can they fix that and get off the slide is going to be the major question of the game. Otherwise, Havoc again, recently losing their star player to a smurfing ban. Both teams have a lot of question marks coming forward, so I do think this is a definite toss-up.
Will be a bit of a toss-up for sure. Toss-up that either way, we will be back at you. Question marks or not. Okay. Sounds. It's fine. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's take the whole night while I'm at it. I'm already here for one game. I know you're not. Kopek is. Alright. But yeah, all in all, I may as well take the night. There are no other PvPs here, so why not have a blast with the night and casting. Alright, I will... Okay. Come on. Hello. Alright, Warhood, accept the invite from Whitefoot. It's fine. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Bronze to a Gold Competitive Series, Week 8, as we launch up with another hot set of games. This time, Havoc take on Skill Cap Gaming. Right now, both these teams in a bit of a recent slump in Group B. Which team do we think might come out on top?
Well, looking at what they have here, Smart and Keo, normally their a support player is filling in for their mid lane role. I expect to see that a lot of taking advantage of that, especially because Dr. Death is a very well-known mid laner in this again. But it's going to be interesting to see if Skill Cap can really recover coming forward about what they have. They do have their full rosters, and I believe, unless there was any notes that I missed in my travels to and from New Jersey, both teams will have all 5 bans.
Yeah, I believe that we do. I think everyone's on time here, ready to have some good old competitive League of Legends, and looks like we are absolutely about to launch back up into these things. Starting off with pick ban, what do you think we'll say?
I'm trying to think of what we are going to see coming forward from this. Anivia ban, I think, is probably the first thing on the list. as it gets banned out. And then I guess the new person in here is Lucius Best in the top lane for Havoc. Can we see something coming forward where we will get an opportunity to see his champ pool? Do you ban him out in expectation of him needing a little bit of help in his first week in Duo Esports?
No, and here's the thing with Lucius. He actually, in terms of like season 3, yeah, very fresh player. But in terms of actually being a BSGCS historian kind of deal, he actually has played games before. Just so whenever he's played a game, he has not managed to play many others because it's a bit of a curse around Lucius, where if he's on a team, he's on a team with Smurfs. I don't think that's the case with Havoc now, as they've already gone through their Smurf. So. The bans come through, and do I think any will be towards Lucius? Apparently so.
Yeah, banning out the Darius and the Renekton, and I wonder if he's... I mean, this is what... I have to say this, and it gets... Every week, I get more and more angry about this.
It's about Trundle not being banned on red side?
It's about... Yes! Everyone always argues this. Trundle isn't the worst, like, the best thing, like, you know, the best thing. It is the best thing for bronze, silver, and gold. If you want to get to high gold platinum, and you are a jungler, play Trundle. You'll win the game automatically. And then more importantly, which for a second, I'll get into, like, what I think is very positive right now about skill cap, because it looks like they know what they're doing. They decide to pick Mundo into it. Trundle is going to be unkillable at 25 minutes if Mundo's in the team fight. You are absolutely hamstringing yourself at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely tying the noose over your own neck, so to speak, with this one, by picking Dr. Mundo into Trundle. I think for skill cap, they need to make sure that they don't lose early on, that they're able to get a winning lane and start to make some things happen, because if they just sit down and wait for late game, it's not going to go in their favor, especially something we haven't talked on just yet. Have picked up the Zyricon.
Yes. Zyricon pretty standard bot lane. Actually, I like it again. Good thing that we're seeing is blue side not giving away what their bot lane, their solo laners are going to be. And then to conversely, to get out of my little anger about what is going on with skill cap, they definitely seem to have a plan in mind, and I think what we're seeing right now, from what I've seen in general with their first 3 picks, it is that they're going to make Spartan's life in the mid lane an absolute living hell.
Whoa!
Quinn coming in.
ADC Quinn!
Yeah, 80.
That's ADC Quinn!
Unless it's 80 carry or support Veigar, right? And then, like, you're like...
No, that's ADC Quinn. It's no way they've gone through. Either they cannot go top or jungle. That's established. I'm pretty sure that's Quinn in the EDC role, and we have not seen that in forever.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough duelist, to say the least.
Looks like it's throwing both of us for a loop. So let's throw that back in the corner a little bit.
I mean, that's obviously a troll troll hover by Yeso, right? Please, for the love of God, please. Thank you. Oh, so interesting. I guess here's the interesting thing that's revealed in this, right? That's gonna be Trundle top lane. Yeah?
Yeah, actually. Unless there's some funky new meta where we bring out Graves in the top lane.
Well, it could be Trundle support, but that's not going to happen. That still wouldn't answer the actual issue. What I guess I'm assuming what the call is that they're also thrown by the Quinn 80 carry, because they were assuming they were probably gonna flex. They ended up flexing the Trundle from the jungle role to deal with the Quinn. I would have to assume.
Well, here's the thing with the Quinn pick. Okay, we don't see it forever because she's barely ever good in any of the metas that exist, and into the Xayah matchup, I don't know how good she'll do, but what strikes me as odd about this is this Ageless Tiger picking this. This is, I think, a good, reasonable explanation as to why Skill Cap Gaming went 1-3 in their last week. was because of the lack of this player. This is, the AD carry that enables this team to do what they have to do. Bot lane's popping off, mid lane's going even, top lane can do whatever it wants. That's all because of Ageless and Buggy making their magic happen. To come back,
Is this
you
gonna
pick
be?
Quinn. This is really interesting because we have to actually talk about Quinn. Is she a bad champion, or is
Yes,
she actually a
she's
sleeper?
absolutely trash.
Okay. Tell me why.
So first off, she has no real ult. I guess if you really want to argue, hey, now at least you have a bot lane that can get anywhere, a AD carry that can get anywhere on the map without wasting a 6-minute cooldown. That's great. You can't do that to level 6, and Quinn also gets absolutely bullied in the lane. I would have actually, I don't know. I would have probably actually, if this was the options that they wanted to go with, I would have flexed one of those champions and put that Quinn in the top lane against the Trundle. Because I think that matchup actually might be pretty interesting and might actually be favored into Quinn. Because you can just farm from Rage, keep safe. You're never going to get tanky enough that Trundle's ult's going to really supremely affect you or anything like that. However, I wanted to bring this point up because this was all the way back, I think, in week 1, and I ended up blasting Buggy for it when he did this, but he ended up winning because he just couldn't die. I wonder if we're going to see the return of Buggy's tank Janna build.
Are we speaking of the infamous Guardian Janna?
I think that's what, I can't remember. I wish I had the notes on it so I could see what items Buggy built. Buggy built this I was casting it and I was like so confused when I saw it, but it ended up working really well. This was pre-nerf Janna, where shield champions were absolutely disgustingly broken, and then Janna could start her E and just hit you for with Ahri with for something like 250 of your HP, level 2, when you got 2 points into the E. And she was just not only a shield but a lane bully, which was kind of ridiculous on Riot's part. And he decided to go Guardian, I think it was, or may have decided to go whatever the standard tank one is that does the AOE, and he proceeded to hard carry on it. And so I'm wondering, if that makes sense. I wonder if we're looking to see something like that, because as we're waiting for the spectator delay to count down, Quinn doesn't have a heal.
She has Ignite.
So,
Probably the least conventional summoner spell out of all of them for an AD carry. And this means only one thing, Warhood, and that is there's going to be blood in the bottom lane.
yeah, I mean, what's an easier way to get kills than just, blowing both your combat summoners, knocking one of their players and knocking him up and then slowing him, than getting Janna, that's just an awful lane. Is this actually also, I guess we need to mark this as well, the return of Gwen to the stream?
Yeah. I actually was about to mention them as well, but you got a flip-flop by a Quinn pick with Ignite. Gwen, player that deserves some talk. Haven't seen him on stream at least since, I believe, week 2, week 3, very early on. Took a vacation, and then has never really been talked about since, because other AD carriers rose to the occasion of getting themselves in the spotlight. Gwen, though, is a solid player and a solid AD carry, despite the green as shown in the early weeks. So I do think that he'll make an impact this game, but I backfire against him because this is a very, there'll be constant fighting back and forth here. If any greenness shows itself, then it could go against them.
Yeah. I guess we can put the end of the hype of the Buggy tank Janna because he decided to take Ahri. He has the resolve tree as his secondary runes, but I don't think the tank Janna works as well if you don't have it. But Buggy, if you're listening, I would love to see it again. Outside of that, don't be stream sniping. Anyway, we're looking at this. I actually think we could see an invade coming out from Havoc. Havoc, right?
Havoc.
I've been outside. I'm sorry, guys. I've been out. I'll tell you the truth. I have been working at football camp. I've been outside in the sun for 12 hours a day for the past 5 days. I can barely remember how to get home after camp. So I'm a little bit sloppy right now. So Havoc here coming out. pretty standard, the barrier coming off on the Lux. Hopefully he's going to be able to basically save herself from the level 6 Vygar press R win game mentality. And then I guess, as I was saying, I do believe Havoc have a pretty good invade comp when we're looking at what they could do in the jungle with the Graves, with the Lux binding, a Rakan knockup, Xayah damage, and then a Trundle bite. So we may be seeing some level 1 shenanigans coming out from Havoc that would put, I would have to say my focus would be looking for the bot lane of Quinn, Janna, because if you... That is a interesting little thing. I got that error too. Okay, so as we load back in, Riot, fix just replays, please, to make our lives easier here. As I was going to say, I think this is going to be a pretty interesting game coming forward. Game is still being played. I don't think we're going to get a chance, so we're just going to have to pick this up live. So we shall wait to see what is about to happen as we get into this game, or if this client's just completely bugged.
Let's hope it's not, but either way, they could go for a cheesy level 1 invade. It wouldn't backfire against them. Their comp's decent when it comes to invading. It's not like he doesn't scream invade, but it kind of says it a little bit. So I could see it, but for now I'm going to play it safe and kind of just say 5 points. Just because of the nature of that comp.
I guess we have to go through this formality right now as we are... I'm back in game. Are you back in game yet, Shuno?
I'm not back in game just yet. So we'll just launch things up relatively soon for the most part. If I missed anything of considerable action, or no, not really.
I guess right now I'll do a little bit of the play-by-play. Nothing at all is happening. Havoc has the professional 5-point stance coming out with Graves in the mid lane, was spotted out by the Vygar. Absolutely nothing happens from that. But I guess if anything, that shows that Jax... I guess the assumption would be Jax is blue-sided and they're improperly 5-pointing.
Yes.
But Jax actually, on an interesting little turn of events, decided to be the top side 5-point. So he made his way down to blue, and now the game is starting.
Yep, so I'm in the game. You're in the game. Where are you in the game right now?
I'm at 138.
I'm also 140. Excellent. 140 is good.
So
Alright, thank you.
All good. Sorry for that little
even...
technical difficulty there, folks.
No syncing needed at all. Riot knows what they are doing, even when they don't know what they're doing. So, early laning with Quinn, level 2 advantage I'm going to highlight here is pretty important. I think if the side of Gwen and Yeso can get it, because there is some good damage that Quinn can have, then that would be very big for them. If they can't, though, then that damage is going to continue to rain against them.
I believe, if I checked, yes, Janna started shield level 1. Maybe not the most ideal if you're looking for that early level 2 trade, because Janna, as they get the level 2 and go in...
Yeah, there it is. Some good damage. The blind, bunch of damage onto Yeso.
But nothing. Nothing coming of that yet. So, but as I was saying, if I was looking to get a heavy level 2, and if that was what their planned strategy was, I would have started Tornado, or even, not Tornado, Tempest, and get the E first, and start poking down a little bit, and then once level 2 hit Tornado, knock them up, and then try to go all in on one of the 2 bot laners.
Yeah, that definitely would have been an option for them, but not the option that they go for. Could be pretty dangerous. There's the Vault Breaker. Some good damage to come through. Almost going to go down. Who's going to go down first? It will be the kill coming over to Havoc. They will pick up the first kill now in the jungle. Graves versus Jax, not looking to go in favor of Razzle Frazzle. He's going to get taken low. Will get taken down? Yes, he will. But it will be a trade kill right back on top of him. Lucius picks it up.
So, I'm assuming they're just walking out. Big, that's big, huge for Lucius. Oh, but more stuff happening.
Just a couple of trades.
Yeah, just a couple of trades crop them out. Huge for Lucius now with the double us, really like able to bully out this Mundo already and do what he pleases, not let Mundo do what he pleases. Yeso having, I guess, unfortunately that backfired. The whole Quinn idea backfired. Quinn now having no summoners whatsoever, and there being no combat summoners in the lane can lead a rough time for any time they extend. Another thing I wanted to point out, because I know I was also critical on this at the beginning of the year, the Graves jungle pick, even though consensus says Graves is one of the best junglers right now, and actually in high elo probably it was the best jungler, as Mundo walks out, that now the reason I didn't like it is because a lot of the times they were picking Graves with no actual CC ability. Graves has a lot of champions now that can follow up and basically lock champions down for him to do damage, and also at the same time get ahead of his clear with the Jax coming out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good crowd control for the most part on both teams. As we keep going back up to this top lane, look very, very rough for Cathar Mortis on the Mundo in the laning phase. Buggy actually might be in a little bit of trouble, very, very low in fact, and Ageless Tiger not able to do enough damage. Back up in the top lane, Lucius getting some damage on top of him, but not enough for skill cap to close.
Buggy now had to actually also burn Flash. We didn't get to see that because of the action going on in top lane. And as a result of all of this, because at the same time, great job by Havoc calling us out, Graves able to invade the topside jungle because Jax decided to gank the flashless jungle.
Yeah, definitely the case, and now Razzle Frazzle going towards the bottom lane. If skill cap keep overextending in this lane when they're on low health, this could be pretty bad for them.
That would be dependent upon what we've seen so far is Buggy not being able to hit his skill shots. If Buggy can't peel at all, then this bot lane's in for a really rough time if the Graves decides to come a knocking.
Yes, and now there's a pretty big wave being built up for Ageless Tiger. We'll see how much of a week he can actually pick up. We'll have to play it safe and just kind of lean towards the side of his turret as it comes up, but all in all, very good stuff coming out of Havoc's bottom lane so far.
Interesting. Graves decided to cancel a recall and looking for the back. This could be a big fight coming up if this happens. Do they look to gank these basically flashless bottom carries with Jax now at the second blue, which they have to know he's there because that's where they knew that's where you'd have to assume he started because they killed him in the top side of the river.
Yeah, definitely very frisky. Doesn't look like they're gonna go for it any more than they have though, and Ageless Tiger and Buggy do stay safe. Recalls on the bottom lane get cancelled though, and Buggy gets taken out by Yeso, stepping a little too far forward with no vision, and that's another kill going over to Rakan. Oh, in the mid lane, a lot of damage onto Death Shadow, but not enough to take him out.
I mean, he's gonna be safe. I was gonna say you gotta be careful here for the Vygar ult coming out at any moment, just absolutely, you know, erasing Lux from the map. Lux though probably setting up for a back at this point, I would have to assume. And maybe is Jax here? As I'll pan over to the Jax, is Jax? No, he is not taking the red buff as he walks away from Infernal Dragon. Sorry, as he walks away from it.
Yeah. As of right now,
actually, he starts it, but he has been spotted out.
oh no. Yep, there is a scrying plant. That should be his signal to back off as he tanks a couple of shots from the dragon. Good scrying orb coming in from Razzle Frazzle, and right now the bottom lane in terms of CS is actually even. 64 to 63. A little bit of catch-up Ageless has actually been able to get on this Quen.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a good job playing Quinn. I mean, in terms of, you know what I mean, like, being able to CS effectively, usually a lot of what Quinn's issues is that, like, in lane it's just, like, impossible to do anything productive because they're just champions that do it better and can outrange you.
Yeah, that's definitely one of her problems, but fortunately she's been able to stay alive for the majority of the landing phase, and now in that Valor form is quicker than most other AD carries, and it's definitely going to force a lot of the abilities at his skill cap as they're intimidated by the bird. Now looking for the first Infernal of the game, though. Throwing their abilities on the side. Death Shadow could come in from the corner. There's the damage. There's the stun. There's the kill going on over to Death Shadow. Who they now turn their focus right onto Yeso. Buggy with some good positioning. A Monsoon to blast the members of Havoc right back into the team. The rest of Skill Cap aren't there in time, though. Now they show up. Is it too little too late? The damage to come through. Gwaine picks up the kill onto Ageless. Now Buggy trying to stay alive against Graves. Razzle Frazzle looking for the kill. He will quick draw over the wall. Pick up the kill. Two kills coming in for Gwaine. It might be more. Skill Cap can't run away from this one. Death Shadow might just look for the turn here. There's the Q. Where's the knockup to come through? There it is. And that is another kill for Zaya.
Man, a lot to process there as we look at this. Looking through this, great, I guess, intuition there, knowing that they were going to do the Infernal Drake. They're able to get control over it, and then more importantly, able to turn the fight after that. Only, Spartan going down there, I believe, for that fight? Yeah, so 3 for 1 and the Dragon. A little bit of a issue coming up as they safely back up. I guess we have to notice, with that double buff, Trundle able to do so much damage shoving it in. That top lane turret almost ready to fall.
Yeah, so far, Havoc are in a very good spot, actually. They've only gotten 2 deaths, one on the mid lane laner, one on the jungler, and the bot lane's popping off. So far, it was, definitely a couple kills on the side of Yeso and the Rakan, not too much on Gwaine, but in that last fight, the triple kill to come through. Zaya's now fed, Rakan's now fed, bot lane's looking a lot better than Skill Cap says.
Yeah, it certainly is, as here's the big plays coming. Oh.
Here's the big play to come through, but they're not able to close it out on a Spartan. He's able to survive the 3-man gank from SCG.
So this is the big question I have. At what point is Quinn gonna be able to basically say, I'm gonna be able to hold my own against this Trundle, like taking the lane? Because if she can do that, this game is salvageable. If not, this game is about to start to turn very one-sided in the side of Havoc.
If I had to give my expert marksman opinion, it's gonna be some time. I think Quinn needs an item or 2 before she can really start to be functional in the game. Her whole thing is about going in, and when you're up against Zyre, Rakan, Lux, going in is not what you want to do. A little bit of action in the top lane. Cathar Mortis will go down here. Don't think Lucius will either, though. That is a very tanky Toronto with a 3-level advantage. Back down the bottom lane, Buggy goes down, and looks like Ageless is about to follow. A double kill coming in for Gwaine. The triple kill all over the board for Havoc, and things are looking worse and worse by the minute. Now up in the top lane, Wreck-'em Wreck-'em trying to salvage a play, but that's a 4th kill over to Havoc.
Looking at this, a lot of blood starting to pour from this map as Havoc keeps continuing to push the lane. Spartan Keo doing a good job holding his own at range, farming with the spells of Lux. Basically, I think probably the best way to play this lane matchup against a Veigar that will eventually get to the point where he can literally just press R and one-shot the Lux. Caught out again.
While with one-shotting, Death Shadow picks up the kill.
Through the barrier.
All it took was a single button click through the barrier, indeed, as well. So we're looking at shining rays of hope for Skill Cap Gaming. You're looking at Death Shadow in the mid lane.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be your one hope, but eventually that's not going to do anything into a team fight when Trundle is going to be running at your face. But I was going to say right before that happened, if you want to keep this up, because that lane is the only dangerous lane right now, or dangerous lane in terms of what Skill Cap has to do in order to get that, as the Rift Herald is picked up, and they take second turret there as they start to clean the map.
If you want to answer, you could kill the mid laner like that. How much will they get punished for, though, is up to them, though. It's 1 kill going to Aegis. Will it be a second to come through. There's the bird flying through. Will he be able to catch up to his target though? Gwaine on the wrong side of the map. Kithara Mortis will pick up the kill, shuts him down. And now Spartan Kicks go in all sorts of trouble. Skillcap Gaming are able to find a couple of kills.
Yeah. All 3 turrets down and the and the Rift Herald up means that they could technically make a play for one of these inhibitor turrets if a fight is to break out. Coming through this though, I think if we look at the gold, which I will briefly do, 1100 gold onto the Quinn. Quinn should be able very soon complete his first item, which he just does in the Youmuu's. Probably the beginning of an item spike for him. I think it would be like one more. But is this game a little bit too out of reach for them at this point?
If the play went positive for Havoc, yeah, I would have said that basically all Havoc have to do is play their cards right, not overextend, and turret dive 15 minutes into the match, but that's exactly what they did. When you're in the lead, you want to keep that lead and not give opportunities to throw it, and unfortunately, it's exactly what Havoc has done. Their lead's still pretty solid, and if they can keep this up without overextending too much, then it should stay at this pace, but a lot of breathing room has just went over on the side of Skill Cap.
And now another Infernal has spawned. Look for this to make another play, probably by both of them, as now Quinn is going to basically be able to free roam this map with Valor. Uh-oh.
Yeah, they caught the support, and I don't think he can get out of this one without getting a couple of scratches. The damage to come through, very, very low. Death Shadow will take out Lucius. That is kill number 1 coming over. Now Kithara Mortis with the teleport, looking for some cleaver plays. Won't be able to find that. Death Shadow with another good Event Horizon. Now forces the heal out of Gwaine. Skill Cap are playing their cards beautifully here as they secure the Inferno Dragon.
Great ward placements by Skillcat, able to capitalize on these picks as the team starts to get these skirmishes that are going down. This is definitely the way for Skillcat getting back into the map, is these crazy skirmishes that we have been seeing.
Absolutely the case. They might be looking at their first turret here. Gwaine has to be careful. Death Shadow could delete him in an instant with a basic set of abilities. Control-Alt-Delete button may not even be needed. Skill Cap continue the push, but it doesn't look like they're going to get too much damage on this turret.
Not yet, anyway. As we see this, I think here's the issue I'm having, Blaze. What needs to happen is you need to get Lux in a position where she just constantly can shove in these waves with her ult, with her 40, like her ult's a ridiculously short cooldown. It gets to like 30 seconds at level 3. I think it's right now at like 45 seconds. She needs to get the blue buff to be able to do this, and then basically you can't siege against her. And that stops everything you have to do, and you're going to have to go into a 1-3-1 with Quinn and Jax on the 2 side lanes, or Quinn and Mundo on the 2 side lanes. But then that kind of reduces the effectiveness of a Jax we can have. We've seen Jax actually miss a couple of his counter strikes already, which is going to be a major option. However, it becomes a lot easier to hit those counter strikes when a Veigar baby cage is put down in the middle of 3 people. And you catch 1 or 2 of them with the Jax Counter-Strike.
Yes, now, while we're with the Jax, something I do want to talk to you about is Sated Devourer, which might just get cut off quickly as Kithara Mortis is probably dead here. The Chomp, the Flash, and he gets out. Okay, for now at least. Graves coming around the corner. Quick draws in early, which will let Kithara get out. Believe there should be some breathing room. Sated Devourer, Jax, how do we feel?
I'm assuming a fight's about to happen, actually.
Okay, so there's no breathing room. Gotcha. Ageless Tiger might be in trouble here. There's actually a massive knock-up, and the quickness coming through. Buggy saves the team, but goes down for his sins. Now Gwaine up in the front line. There's the ultimate. All the skill cap are very low on this one. The 2-man counter-strike not going to mean too much. Able to get away with the leap strike. But now Ageless also up in the front line. There's the Lucent Singularity and the shutdown onto him.
Don't think they get this turret here. So, to answer your question, if you don't know, I tried to switch to jungle earlier in the year. I'm a support main, and it did not work out well. And the one thing I had a coach, and we were talking his next level in the steps of what he wanted you to learn in order to like be able to properly master jungle was the second champion was Jax. You can like do so many versatile things with Jax. It makes it a great champion to learn like jungle on. However, the mistake that Rectum is getting into is that he's about to go. What it looks like is he's about to go full damage. And what's gonna happen? Because I've tried this before, and I can tell you what's about to happen if he goes full damage, is that he's gonna get into the team fight. He's gonna counter strike. And at the moment the counter-strike is down, he is going to get absolutely obliterated. And he's not going to be able to get a full combo off and die. And if he doesn't get the opportunity to get a full combo off and to get a couple rotations off, he's not going to be really able to get to the backline to assassinate anyone. He needs... I'm not going to say you need to go... Juggernaut? But you're going to need to have the ability to stay alive in these team fights. So unless he gets a tank item very shortly, he's not going to be effective in this game at all.
Yeah.
Does that answers your question, right?
That does answer my question, because it doesn't look like too much is coming out of the Jax right now. I believe a tank item would have been a little bit more optimal, but right now, what's not optimal is this position, and SCG are way out of where they should be, and as a result, it'll be 2 kills gifted over to Havoc.
Now, that's a great engage. Yeso has been playing out of his mind on all these engages. I'll say that. What the thing is, as we continue with the Jax, what he's trying to do, I think, and I'm not him, I can't tell you, he's trying to set up for a split push with his build. But as this is going on right now, his whole space is dying.
Yeah. So, as you were talking earlier about him going in and dying, well, it just happened. So, good stuff. Either way, Ageless Tiger, you do not want to go into 4 people. That's a great way to get yourself killed. Inhibitor, looks like that might be salvaged at the very least for skill cap, but things are looking pretty glam.
Yeah, it definitely is. They get a turret back at least, so it's not the worst thing. Maybe you're gonna try to see an opportunity to split push. Aegis is doing pretty well. I am streaming right now.
Oh no. Alright, so Aegis forced to flash away. Skill cap are definitely playing with fire on this one. They are able to get heal out of Gwen, but they should not be in this position with an 8,000 gold deficit. If Havoc were to engage on them, I don't think there's a way for skill cap to win.
Yes, it certainly is. What I also have to point out, which is a pretty like unique, and I really like to see in this comp, as Yeso again gets.
Oh boy! Well,
by.
That's one way for skill cap to get an advantage.
I don't actually think that's even Dragon. That may not even be Dragon. I think they're able to defend this Dragon 4v4. That being Havoc. At this point, they're so far so sturdy right now.
Yeah, this is a bit of a risk on the side of skill cap. We'll see how they play it. All 5 members are there. Wailing on the Dragon. Spartan could take with the ult. Not in time. Gwen up in the front line, again taken down and shut down by Rectum. That's another kill over to skill cap gaming. They might just be looking for more Aegis flying in on the Quinn. They're not going to go any further, but that is still another kill, now in the favor of skill cap.
That is what's going to happen if you are not careful about the Jax, because if you can't assassinate, if you can't blow up the Jax in one rotation, whoever he lands sticks on is going to die. And if you don't have follow-up to kill him, at that point then it's like a worth trade. They didn't have the follow-up to get the Jax off the Xayah, and that means the Xayah goes back to base and a huge shutdown happens.
While we're on it with going back to base, Yeso very close to doing just that. The wave's going to get cleared out by Gwen here, who has to be very, very careful with what's going on here. Rectum about to die. One chomp, there you go. Back in the bottom lane, Death Shadow taken low. This one almost gets taken out. Cathara Mortis the next focus. Spartan gets knocked back by the Monsoon. Buggy doing his best to keep his team alive. There's the Tornado, but he's out of mana and about to be out of health to boot. A kill going over to Gwen. Now Death Shadow also in trouble. Skill Cap a little confused on what exactly they should have been doing right there. Another Chomp's about to come through onto Death Shadow. He will go down for sure. Gwen has to just throw a couple of feathers at him. There it is. 19 to 10.
Is Mundo about to die here? I think he is.
Believe so. Yeah. So Dead Mundo, almost a dead Quinn, possibly if the pillar were still up, but
Free
Skill Cap,
inhibitor.
they're taking their chances. 3-man stun, but that doesn't mean anything. Yiso picks up his 4th kill of the game as Havoc get the inhibitor.
Inhibitor, now they get to turn to Dragon. Yeso does not have any wards besides pink wards, which is a bit unfortunate because you could theoretically clear out all of this, set up a pick, and then just end the game. Because they'd have to blind check this. But it looks like they're going to take it, and I'm going to assume... Oh, Wayne misses what he was trying to do. There's going to be no contest here, unfortunately, I have to think. This is a free Baron. So with the free Baron play coming up, Xayah about to get a huge wave as well. Spartan trying to, looks like maybe steal a couple of it. Instead decides to settle for the blue buff. Great opportunity coming forward to look at all of this. I do not see this lasting more than maybe 5 more minutes, if that, because what we're about to see here is one major team fight and then the game to be over. Gonna be something very interesting coming up is how this team fight works. Because right now, Trundle is the only one that can get caught in the baby pillar and nothing really happened. However, with the Bork just popped, it looks like they're going to start another team fight.
Yep, another team fight that should be textbook on the side of Havoc. Skill Cap have absolutely no way to stay alive. That's a triple kill for Gwen. Buggy might be the only one to get out of that one, but I think that is the one team fight on the one game for Havoc.
Yep, I think this is the game right here. Inhibitor Miner is coming. All that you're left is with is a Glass Cannon Jax. What we're about to see here is probably a last stand from the Jax, and then that's it.
Yeah, that should be it. They don't even have to chase down the kill. A much-needed victory on the side of Havoc as they knock another game off of Skill Cap Gaming. Good stuff either way to come out on the side of Havoc.
Certainly was a great showing from the game. A little bit of, I think, poor item choices coming out from the side of Skill Cap Gaming. Not exactly actually the worst Quinn play we could see here. Quinn only going 2-6-2, but unfortunately that's what happens when everyone else is so far ahead, and you're just going to have to be sitting back there basically taking damage from the Xayah in team fights and the Lex in team fights poking you down. So I guess with that we can go look forward through all of this. Great game from Razzle, 2-1-11. Razzle on a Graves, not exactly doing the most kill participation or killing in the game, but definitely setting up a lot of the stuff there. A great game again after Lucius's best with the Trundle pickup in the top lane. Now giving definitely the fear into Havoc that if you give them Trundle, it's not exactly going to be a Trundle jungle, because we've seen that at least now jungle, it can be flexed into the top lane with Lucius, and I believe probably knowing Yeso well enough, he could also play it in the support lane. Rough games coming out from Quinn and Death Shadow as well, but I don't think those two were really the cause of the issue for the team fights.
I mean, a lot of the team fights were just bewildering in all honesty. It was really confusing why Skill Cap took some of the fights that they took, I feel.
Yeah, I think it comes back to what we saw last week. They don't really have a plan. What I want to say is it's not that they didn't have a plan, it's that they failed to execute the plan. I have to think what they wanted to do was they wanted to be able to 1-3-1 with the Quinn and the Jax. Jax going full damage glass can split push, be able to split push down towers. Quinn being able to basically be everywhere she wants on the map. It's a great idea in theory, but it's very hard to execute. And if one lane starts to fall behind and you don't get your items quick enough, this is the result that happens.
Yes, this is the result. Let's take a look at if you're ready for the vision score. Let's take a peek at it, or do you want to highlight something else?
I think the damage is pretty standard for what you saw. Zaya hard carrying this game with all those kills, 24,000 damage dealt. Death Shadow doing a great job as well, with 13,000 in such a one-sided game. So other than those two things, I guess let's go look at the vision score.
Yeah. And we have oh my, we have 4 people total that did not take a control word. Well, unfortunate to put it one way.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate. But when you're constantly at base, you're constantly buying with awkward things, and then you run into the issue, and I've run into it a couple times. If you start to, I'm not gonna say int because you're not inting, right? But if you start to die a lot, you start not being able to build up gold enough to buy anything. So you're backing with like 200, 300, maybe even 400 gold. And if you're on these champions like a Vigar, like a Quinn, like a Mundo, you're gonna run into the situation where you don't buy anything, and if you buy the vision word, then you're setting yourself back even further. So I like it. You need to buy at least one vision word, I think, a game, and it's a great way to put that. But at the end of the game, right, you need to be able to properly manage that. We've seen a couple games where it's super awkward, where top laner buys something like 12 control words, and he goes into the game and he does like absolutely nothing, because the fact of the matter is that he like bought too many vision words because he kept dying and running back into base and losing his vision. So super unlucky, but I think all of those lack of vision words or control words, however you want to put them, is the result of them falling behind so quickly.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Like I said, bewildering performance at a skill cap knocks them down to 7 wins and 7 losses right now. There's still an overall good score, but with other teams in Group B starting to find some wins, just like Havoc, who really did need it, as they still have a slew of rematches to play. Need a win for Havoc, and so skill cap, clean a couple of stuff up. I would close that out with.
Yeah. So I guess right now we have one last game on the docket for today, which is going to be KIS Gaming versus Lobster Gang. I think at this point you guys can't see me, of course, but as I've been working at a football camp all week, I am literally baked like a lobster right now. So I will be to answer your question before you even ask it. Right now, because of the color of my skin and of my nose and of my neck and of my legs, I am going to say I'm fully on the side of Lobster Gang Esports.
Alright, yikes, to put it one way. Nonetheless, KIS Gaming versus Lobster Gaming will be up next. Make sure to stay in for the stream as we watch that game and see if KIS will be able to pick up their next win of the BSGCS, or if Lobsters are back in action.
We will be back shortly. Stay tuned.
Okay, good. Game's still going very quick. I'm good, yeah. Oh yeah, during that time I had a bit of some background noise, to put it one way, yeah. But yeah. Mhm. No, I'm fine with that. If anything, I like having a discussion back and forth. I know where Yasu comes from on that, where it can lead to like confusion on the cast, but I really like having a back and forth discussion and just keeping the broadcast active. Right, I will create the lobby for this one. KIS versus LG. One tournament draft. KIS pick up a win. I have my first ever 0-3 of the Bronze Silver Gold competitive series. That might be sad. Warhood, Selmy, and do I have a lobster player on? Yes, I do.
Happy on the outside, weary inside, smiling depression. They think I'm alright. Calling, calling, calling. It's a freedom I shouldn't have, with the people I shouldn't know. I might as well end still on that. It's the only thing that I fucking do.
washed up. Don't want to believe it. Oh no, it's not what you wanted. Oh no, it's not what you needed.
Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say.
Welcome and back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bronze, Silver, Gold Competitive Series Week 8 matchup. Last one of the night here, KIS Gaming take on Lobster Gang Esports. Once again, for the third time this night, joining me in the cast is the one and only drunk headcaster of Esports.
I'm not drunk. Just because
Sure about
I've only had 2 shots of Jameson and 1 beer. I am not drunk.
Oh, all right, fair enough. Nonetheless, we'll be hopping right in with KIS Gaming versus Lobsters. I know you're already in favor of the Lobsters, but we haven't seen this team since week 5 when they managed to sweep the floor with Conqueror Academy, top 3 team in the tournament so far, no doubt about that. Do we think they're going to do the same thing to KIS, or do KIS going to be able to pick up another win?
I think Lobsters is going to give the kiss of death to KIS Gaming in this game. KIS, unfortunately, I haven't seen much to really say it. It looks like they've done a little bit of roster shuffling. Tranquilo now moving from the top lane into the AD carry role. And on top of that, there is a new support player in support only, please, coming in for KIS Gaming. It's going to be definitely an interesting matchup coming up. I do expect to see Train Game getting an opportunity to show off his stuff, however.
Yeah, I definitely think that the solo laners of Lobsters will be shining in this matchup, but how they'll be shining is a completely different question as we hop right into picks and bans. This
Another
time,
game
once
with no
again,
old mans.
yeah, yeah, teams showed up on time, ready to play. So, what do you think we might say?
I hope we see a Trundle ban. Please, for the love of God, can we see a
Trundle
Trundle ban
ban?
on the red side?
On the
Please?
red side? Okay, let's see if Lobsters will be serving that up for you.
Yep. We're just waiting right now, last couple of moments until Train Games decides to hit start. So we are definitely looking to get this going any minute. Other than that, Tranquilo, maybe you see a couple of targeted bans towards him as well in the AD carry role, because Tranquilo is out, outside of his normal role for this game, it looks like, and because of that, we will see.
Yeah,
We will
ideally.
see. Yeah, ideally we'll see that, and hopefully that means on first rotation or something like that, first set of bans he gets in his AD carry role. We are in fact actually someone had to go BRB really quickly. We are waiting for Lobster Game to return to their computers, so it'll be a couple of minutes. How are you liking these games today, Shuno?
I'm enjoying them for the most part, I would say. They're all very, very quick, and while I don't think this will be the matchup, unfortunately, if I had a pick from the start of the day and say, all right, this game will be your 40-minute slugfest that I'd love to cast, I wouldn't be picking this one, so I think it'll probably be another quick game. Like I mentioned in my predictions, KIS have been looking a lot better as of recent. They brought OC to the bloodiest game, which actually tied, even though the infographic is not out yet. It will be very soon, just for there being 2 bloody games, both of which hit 49 kills. KIS OCN being one of them. In terms of KIS, they've looked better. I do think that, assuming Lobsters didn't practice at all, let's say they had 2 weeks off, they didn't practice whatsoever, this is KIS's game, and another win for them. If Lobsters did practice, though, they put in the work, and they're not going to be turned into butter anytime soon, then I think it should be very similar to the nature of our previous games.
Yes, it certainly will be a very interesting game coming forward. First picks, a couple jungle focus. 2 of the probably stronger junglers, I would say, on this patch, because Nocturne, gets that one, has, I think, it's sort of become popularized again with this lethality build, getting full damage and then just destroying your backline with his ult. And then Kindred as well, another super strong, been consistently buffed over a couple patches, and now with the meta shift has become a very strong jungler, very good job at controlling everything. And then bot lane bans coming out from from KIS Gaming. I wonder if that is a signal either A, Tranquilo has been practicing AD carry, or if they're banning out specifically for him to make him feel comfortable. No Trundle ban, however.
No Trundle ban, which means ideally, seeing how Dazaran did ban away his own Nocturne on this thing here, I do expect a Trundle first pick. If not, be very smart for Lobsters to take it on their own. So the pick is, and it looks like Wheeler Walker locks in the Aatrox.
Aatrox is a very strong champion, so we don't have to worry. That's not a really bad pick. Yeah, it was hurt a little bit with a nerf this patch, I believe. but definitely still probably a champion in a pretty strong position because of how overtuned he had become after the hot fixes and buffs came out the previous patch. Now the question is, on this rotation, do they pick the Trundle here or go pick something that, they want to pick, but instead they don't show anything with the Bard pick, as Akiko now gets his choice of junglers that haven't been banned away.
Yeah, Bard locked in for support only. Very strong, oppressive support in the laning phase, and overall, I think a well-rounded champion if you know how to play him, which does take a bit of skill in order to pull it off properly. But as we were talking about, there is the Trundle pick.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my question is, does this come back to haunt KIS Gaming here? Because they let it go through. I guess the idea is that you don't want Train's game onto the Aatrox or something like that. So now they get the opportunity to pick out whatever they want. And another Gragas pick.
The Gragas pick. We'll see if it's going to be with the same win-loss ratio tonight, though. And here's... I feel kind of conflicted. There have really been two people that have picked Lissandra in Esports, and that's been Phoenix and Kona, which you're literally looking at a player on the top team, a player on arguably the bottom team, okay? And I don't know how to feel about Kona's Lissandra at all. This is a comfort pick. He's played it before, as he had with his Katarina that Lobsters did indeed ban away. Do you feel similar with me, Warhood, now? Because I'm not sure how to feel about this.
Well, I love Lissandra, and no one's going to change my opinion about Lissandra being the best champion in the game. But yeah, probably not the best to give away both your solo laners at this point, allowing for basically free picks against in the counter pick matchups. Probably would have been a better chance to take this earlier because Lissandra, I think, probably could have been can get countered pretty hard picking it this early.
Yes. Now, looks like how it plays out. A couple bans have rolled through. Blitzcrank and Thresh. A couple bans thrown toward on support. See what he decides to pick. Thresh, one of his favorite seasons so far. Blitzcrank probably also down that role of thought.
Maybe a Nautilus? If you're going with a hook champion idea. Nautilus, I always think is an undervalued support. Finally, last but not picked, Talon, probably something that Lissandra really can't deal with that well. And now you get the opportunity to basically counterpick both your Aatrox and your Lissandra. Maybe a Kled into the Aatrox. I think we've seen that handle it pretty well. Or Gnar even. One of those two lanes maybe could handle the Aatrox in the top lane. And then in the middle lane, something that will allow you basically to keep Lissandra under the turret and away from roaming. Which would be Gnar.
Yeah. If you want to spread champion with a lot of mobility, good burst damage, good pick, Lissandra should struggle against that if Glue's Gains plays the lanes properly, which, for the most part, what I've seen of this player should definitely be able to do so.
I'd actually say that Ahri is not the best choice into Lissandra because the truth is, right, Ahri hits, hypothetically, right, and if you're listening at home, close your eyes and picture this. They both hit 6, right? Ahri decides to all in and try to assassinate the Lissandra. The moment the Ahri jumps into the Lissandra, as long as she plays in her minion wave, she can't get immediately charmed. And the moment she steps into her raid, Ahri gets ulted, and then Lissandra can just walk away. Or if the Ahri is low enough, Ahri can just get melted. So it is going to be interesting to see how they play. But one of the big things is with Ahri is now you have the roam potential to be able to move forward through that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you take the floor for this one for now, alright? Whose team comp do you like more?
The team with the Trundle. But beyond that, I think there is an interesting thing where, like, if Gangplank can play well into the Aatrox, Gangplank, even though he's not in the best position right now, is going to be able to have a ton of influence over the map and a ton of team fighting potential. Ahri as well is going to be able to split push, be able to team fight well, and be able to skirmish. Bard, we've seen Bard a couple times this season to mixed results. Bard, if this Bard's played well, is going to be able to get picks really well with his ultimate, be able to get around the map, be able to stun people up, be able to get all these team fights going. Ezreal is pretty safe 80 carry. So is this going to be an opportunity for Wei Assassin to be able to, Wei Asian to be able to get, like show off his skills a little bit? Maybe. But then on top of that, you're looking at the other team. Gragas is deservingly so in a bad spot right now in the jungle. Loses out to the Trundle. The top lane, Aatrox has been super strong as of late, as we're still really looking to find a counter pick for it into it to be able to deal with it effectively. So if Wheeler Walker is able to like get ahead of Train's game, maybe that spells trouble for Lobster. And then, as I said with Lissandra, that pick into the Ahri that Ahri pick into Lissandra may not go the way they are. And then the Jhin Braum bot lane should be able to beat the Bard Ezreal bot lane, because the moment Bard tries to go to tether the two together, Braum can throw up his shield and stop the tether from happening, if I understand that interaction correctly.
Believe so. Here's the thing that I think, if I had to pick favorite comp, I don't know, a little reluctantly I would say Lobsters. I think they have better pick potential. I think they have just overall better, kind of strange to say, but they have better team fighting. I think they have better zone control. A little bit lacking in the wave clear department, but if they really want to, they can just expand True Shot into a lane that's getting sieged, or GP ult onto a lane that they don't have any control over. So I'm not really too worried about for Lobsters. I think they can, as long as they play the laning phase properly, they should be set for team fights. When it comes to KIS, I think a big part goes into the laning phase. Well, I'm going to go back to that one, actually, simply because I want to see something happen. I think a Jhin Braum lane is going to struggle against Ezreal Bard significantly, and it really depends how much of that KIS are able to soak up, I feel.
Yeah, I think that is a good way to look at this. As we get into the last 30 seconds, though, something we forgot to do coming out of this break, I want to say thank you, shout-outs to Lee Salty Mod, our God Emperor / Supreme Leader, Curtis, as I call him on stream, for the 7-month subscription resub, and then more importantly, I Play Support. Thank you so much for the tier 1 stream resub for 6 months. What is that? Our sugar daddy or something like that? Mr. Moneybags.
Mr. Moneybags.
coming
Yikes.
through. So thank you so much for both of your supports. If you like our work, please remember, follow, subscribe, join our Discord, come be part of our community. We're a very welcoming and loving community to be a part of.
Exactly. So, nonetheless, walking into the loading screen, see if anything is out of the ordinary. Usually something of that nature, or if we see generic, standard runes.
No. Another electrocute on the Gragas.
Okay.
That's probably what's popular nowadays, I would have to assume, without looking it up.
Alright, fair enough.
Comment on the Lissandra. I always think Ahri is just the better pick in terms of like magey things. Ahri with the electrocute standard, Fleet of Footwork on Jhin standard, Klepto on Ezreal standard, electrocute on Bard standard, and then Guardian on Braum standard.
That is not a Guardian.
What?
That is Aftershock.
Is that Aftershock?
Aftershock, my friend, yes. They're both green. I know you've consumed a considerable amount of beverage tonight, but that is indeed not a Guardian, that is an Aftershock.
Oh. Well, if that's the case, that is a little bit different and unfortunate, because I wonder if that's a mispick, because the the Aftershock is actually incredibly hard to actually hit with Braum, because the stun is so delayed and it's not an immediate stun.
Yes, so a little interesting to come through. Nonetheless, we hop right onto the Rift. with KIS Gaming on the blue side, and Lobster Gang Esports coming in hot on the red side. And I think 100% this is going to be invade. 100%.
Yeah. It looks like definitely an invade coming out. They actually have a pretty good invade when you think about what Lissandra could do with a snare followed up by the Braum stun. But both teams are actually deciding to invade, so nothing's going to happen yet.
Yeah, so what happens in these circumstances is usually both teams just dodge out on the other, unless one of them gets a little antsy and wants to head back home. So if they head back home towards their own jungle, then you could see some level 1 action. If not, then very good chance we'll just proceed back to normal laning phase, despite the oddities going on right now.
Well, both teams seem to have an understanding of where the other is. It's now...
Whoa! Yikes! Okay.
Well, that's
All right.
unfortunate. And more unfortunate that they're about to be spotted out
Oh no,
here.
right before the invade, this is very bad. First victim on the block, support only, please. They face check the bush. Trundle Akihiko is gonna go down. First blood picked up by Dazaran.
That's a big first blood as well, because with the Hiko going down, it allows for the 3 buff and for the the Gragas to be able to clear more effectively and clearly. But conversely, it basically neuters the Lissandra, because Lissandra's about to be 0 CS down because of the early shove by the Ahri to the level 2 Ahri with 4 CS.
Yes, so in terms of it's probably like the only positive that Lobsters get out of that is the fact that Ahri didn't follow the Bamboozle train and does get a CS lead as a result of it. But what's bad about that for Lobsters is there's a big advantage for Dazaran right now in the jungle that he's going to be taking full advantage of.
I still think that Trundle is in a good enough position where it doesn't really matter. Because as you see right now, Trundle's taking red and is about to just counter jungle the other way. While Gragat, they're actually about to be even. And in reality, the other positive thing for Lobster Gang, or Lobster Gaming, or Lobster Gang Esports, that we saw is that no summoners were actually burned in trying to fight it. They gave up pretty quickly once they were dead. Except for the heal, of course, that was spent before the invade actually happened.
Yeah. It's definitely something to keep track of, but right now a big wave in the bottom lane. Some good aggression out of Train Game in the top lane. It's not going to be enough to be able to secure a kill anytime soon, but if that keeps up, then it will be a rough laning phase for Wheeler Walker.
I mean, at this point, it looks like Aatrox is actually completely poked out of that bot lane. Gangplank's almost getting free farm.
Yeah, a little bit of aggression on the side of KIS. Not going to go in their favor this time, though, as...
Oh.
Nah, he has smite. He's fine.
Yeah, it's
so.
very dangerous. This is why I don't like Gragas. Gragas is in such a bad spot because this clear is so unhealthy to actually do.
Wait, uh-oh. Top lane might be in a little bit of trouble. Train Game does pick up the kill. Very good stuff coming out of him. The early aggression and trades paying off big.
Yeah. One, I don't know if it's exactly a pathing mistake, but one unfortunate thing is with such a unhealthy clear, I would say Trundle could have probably taken that 3 buff pretty strong, even though he was like, you know, a buff down. Oh.
Whoa, big aggression coming out of support only. They might be able to pick up a kill. No, they can't. He gets turned on him. Tranquil manages to turn it around, picks up the kill, and KIS Gaming now up 2-1 on the board.
Definitely a worrisome thing coming out. Or not worrisome, a little bit of a misplay coming forward. Trundle actually deciding not to finish the buff, probably a little bit too unhealthy and too low a minute to continue. But now...
Yeah, some aggression in the mid lane. There's the root, there's the slow, there's the damage. Is it enough to take out Ahri? No, it is not. Just able to walk away from that.
Big thing spent there, though, is the cleanse. She spends her cleanse to get out of it, which means that at this moment, if Dazaran decided to regank, there's a more likely chance that she's gonna die.
Yes, now, that is true, 100%. However, it's going to have to be in a very short window. Cleanse's cooldown is not that long for what it's worth. In fact, we're already very close to it being a 4th down. In the bot lane, though, bunch of action right on top of Bard. He's going to be going down another time here. They're trying to give it over towards their AD carry. Not going to happen. Dazran takes it for himself.
Yeah, I mean, this is how Gragas, I guess, is supposed to be run with all these heavy ganks. With the blue buff, his clear is a lot healthier, it seems. So that's what you need to focus on, is keeping those blue buffs on him and away from the Lissandra. So I would hope that Trundle is going to invade and try to mess with the new buff.
Yeah. So for the Garnish jungle, in terms of pressure, is definitely outdoing Akihiko on the Trundle, and that early level 1 shenanigans definitely going in favor of KIS Gaming, and now it's starting to show.
Yeah. Man, Wheeler Walker is getting absolutely bullied right now.
Oh, Lord. I just noticed that too. That doesn't look very healthy.
Oh, it's
More
not.
than doubled in CS 6.5 minutes in.
As we look at this right now, not much action on the map. Both Kono and Glutes is level 6, so maybe we'll see a fight pop off, but I don't think Ari is going to feel safe until she has to cleanse up to really do anything like that. Oh, okay, cool. I was about to say that could be a major issue. Wei Asian, a little bit happy again, bought 2 tiers for a moment, but luckily we have another
gank up in the top lane. That's what we have. Let's see how quickly they can take him out on this one. Very quickly is the answer. Train Game did not stand a chance in that one. 3 members of KIS Gaming surround him, collapse, and pick up their 4th kill.
Maybe a bit of an overgive there by Kono. Kono didn't need to do it. Luckily, he didn't burn any like ult or anything on that. But a lot of damage and a lot of CS loss in terms of just 1 kill onto the GP.
Yeah, no. Also, something kind of undershadowed by all that is the amount of tower damage that Glutus Gains has gotten so far, just from pushing the waves off of Kono either roaming or not being there.
Yeah. Big issue that is going to see that, because now that puts them... basically, if Lissandra roams again and Ari doesn't roam and decides to stick to turret, because she doesn't realize that the roam's happening quick enough, it's going to end up with them basically taking first turret mid.
Yeah. That butterfly effect might go against KIS Gaming if they get sieged on at some later point in the game, which definitely will and should happen. For right now, though, both teams dead even in gold. CS advantages in the mid and top lanes for Lobsters, though. So see how that continues to pan out. Hopefully for KIS, they manage to catch up.
Well, the CS advantage in mid is more as a result as we see another gank, a level 6 gank in fact.
Yep, here we go. Where's the ulti to come through? It's not going to be channel. It does take the Bard tunnel. Looks like Lobster Gaming are having a little fun with this one. Maybe a little frisky. There's the pill to mess up the blast cone. That will force Dazran to get over the wall defensively. Kono now around the side. They're not going to go any further, but Ari's in the bottom lane. Where's the Charmer? It's going to land. There's the shutdown to come through. Ari picking up kill number 1. There's a good tempered fate to follow. Kono's going to go down next. So is Selme. Kono's still alive for a few seconds longer, but it's not going to matter. The defensive Glacial Tomb, how much can be salvaged here on the side of KIS Gaming? It doesn't look like enough. That is going to be 2 more kills on the side of Lobster.
Yeah, great little collapse there done by the Kono, even though he eventually loses his life. Getting that opportunity to start off that fight in such a fashion. Unfortunate that the way it turned out was that the bot lane was able to collapse and Ari was able to follow up, and they never got an
A little
opportunity
bit of
to
action
turn
in the
back
top
on
lane.
Ari.
Doesn't look like it's going to go in favor of Aatrox. The Wheel Walker about to go down again. Train Game's waiting his time. And there's the ulti. Another kill. Now going over to GP.
Yep. And on the backside of that, the team of Lobster Gang Esports was able to take the Dragon as well off that team fight. Great momentum shift for them, especially because it was an Earthquake, which means they're going to be able to push down these turrets even faster.
Yeah, definitely the case, and so far things are looking better and better for the Lobsters. Talk about how the game's even. The next moment it blows up, and KIS, even though it's not anything ginormous, they are at a deficit now.
Certainly are, and now they're in a position where basically if they lose any more position on turrets, they're probably going to lose a turret if Gragas isn't there to immediately soak the lane and soak the pressure that comes off of the minion waves crashing.
Yeah, definitely the case here. Looks like there might be another gank, this time in the mid lane. May not go in their favor. Let's see where it goes. Charm's not going to land out of Glue's gank. The gank not going to work either for Lobsters, so pressure just gets neutralized.
Certainly, as we move forward into this game, the ult for Ari going to be on a short cooldown to come back up, and Trundle looking to make his pressure known in the mid lane, but a counter gank coming. However, Akiko is spotted out.
Yeah, they've kind of pillared the Trundle here, and there's the Glacial Tomb not going to be followed through, which leaves Wheeler Walker on his own for a little bit of time. Train Game also coming around the corner. There's a good chunk of damage from the barrels. They're going to try and lock him up, but Kono might have used that ulti too soon. Bunch of damage to follow through the flash away. Both teams in a huge situation right here where they may not want to go and take another step, but both teams doing that exactly. Massive damage coming on both ends. Ari out of mana for now, and KIS Gaming are not coming out on top whatsoever as they've lost 3 men.
Yep. On the backside of that, what we didn't get to see was the 2v1 when Wei Asian and a support only please saw that Jin was by himself because Braum had roamed up to prevent that team fight. Did a great job, however, the Braum destroying one of the pillars, one of the barrels for GP, because if that didn't happen, that fight's definitely a triple kill in mid lane.
Yeah, definitely, and both teams are really testing their limits in that last fight, and KIS, I think they've learned that they can't quite do that again, otherwise the gold lead's going to start to become a problem.
Certainly is. Ezreal just completing his first tier item in the Mana Moon, now just has to stack it before he goes, or has to make the decision whether he wants to delay his power spike to get the secondary tier. As Ari now engages.
Yep, there's the initiation. That should be a very quick kill. Very nice combo to come out of Glute's Gains. Secures himself his 4th kill of the game.
Yeah, Glute's Gains in a definite position now to force his name to be the reason why they're going to carry. Trundle as well 2-1, and basically everyone in their game on Lobster Gang Esports doing a great position to carry and help their team win.
Indeed, and a little interesting tidbit. Neither team has picked up a turret yet.
No, but a lot of turrets for Lobster Gang are in the position to fall. And then, more importantly, on top of that, Ari has 3,000 gold. That
she does, and she's coming down here. Looks at the flash. Charm does find it. That's going to be a lot of damage on top of Selmy. He will go down. KIS Gaming trying to respond to this here. A good 2-man route coming out of Kono. But is the damage there for KIS? They're down on gold, and they're about to be down to boot. Wow, with 2 kills, with 3 kills. It might just be more. No, Jin's able to get away. But a triple kill for Ezreal. The setup by Lobsters, and that is going to be that.
Very great play there by the Ezreal, shifting to perfect position to be able to snipe a double kill off his ult. And then more importantly, great job of a support only please escaping with the teleport coming in on the Lissandra. Lissandra nearly being able to turn the fight, just not having enough in the tank to do anything yet. But now has Wei Asian overstayed.
Has he overstayed though? He could easily turn this onto Tranquilo. Can he do it? No, he can. View of Extension does bite him back. The shutdown to come through.
Definitely a bit of an overstay there. Very unfortunate there. He just wanted to shove the turret in before backing, I'd have to assume, and didn't see the Braum jumping forward to be able to get any of this. But overall, very bloody game. That even if this is the situation, Lobster Gang is in the position to continue to play and control the tempo of this game.
That they are, and I have to ask you right now, Warhood, if you're on side of KIS Gaming, what do you do to stop the bleeding? We've seen them try to do the team fights, and really it hasn't worked out.
So at this point, you really need to slow this game down. The game's not completely out of control. You have 2 kills on your Gragas. Gragas already having Mage Eyes completed, or Runic Echoes completed, and Jin already having Yomos completed 2-1, 2-3 apiece. Maybe take Rift Herald Shield, which is what it looks like they're playing at, which is not the best idea, in fact, because I think this is going to result in a team fight happening as all of Lobster Gang is looking to position themselves for another fight.
Oh boy, this could be pretty bad unless they're able to get a pick up on Ari, which that's exactly what they were able to do. The needed pick for KIS Gaming comes through just when they need it the most. The Rift Herald may continue to be initiated here. Lobster Gang Esports, they have to be careful if they choose to step up further, but they do zone them away. Actually, Wade Watt might be in a lot of trouble here. Gets caught out. There is the Tempered Fate onto 3. He will go down here. A good timing to come through out of Jin with the 4th shot. And KIS Gaming get another shutdown.
And now I think they get first turret, which is a huge, like, bane for or boon for them.
They might not be able to get that first turret, though. Support only will take out Dazar. Now Kono in a lot of trouble. Will use the glacial path to get away.
Oh, they already lost first turret too, mid. Which I guess that we didn't see. Or I didn't see.
But it's still KISS's first turret. So
it is.
I will abide by such logic. Alas, still unable to get it. And now it looks like Lobsters are in control of the Herald.
Lobster's going to have no contest here. Everyone kind of stuck in base, stuck having to farm. Gonna be a free Rift Herald, and Rift Herald as a result. Probably I would look to drop it mid after forcing another team fight. As long as they don't get picked, that should be at least a tier 2, if not a inhibitor turret.
Yeah, that would be the case, but most Lobsters are grouping around the top half. Train Game also is the one to pick it up, so it looks like they're gonna use it on this top lane turret. Not a bad choice by any means if they decide to go with it. They do have the wave. Jin might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the flash. Dazar in even more trouble, gets taken down. Lobsters with another proactive play. Might be looking for more. Ari not able to land the combo. And that's the call to disengage.
All the while, though, as it's happening, the split push, or the, I guess it's what, a 3-1, a 3-1-1, gonna be able to take 2 turrets on either side there, because Ari with no more ult, and Trundle being able no more ult as well. They seem to just not get the mid turret, however.
Yeah, and KIS Gaming now with their first turret of the game. They're not gonna let the turret score fall completely against them on this one.
So with that, they still have Rift Herald in there to use at some point. I guess you're probably gonna. I still think it's probably the best choice to drop it mid. But right now they're looking to get this Cloud Drake. It looks like in poise to try and take another team fight, or at least bait out a team fight is probably what they want to do.
Yes. Now, KIS Gaming, they've gotten a couple of leads here, and it's mainly been off of Lobsters getting picked off, or overextending, or mispositioning, and I think if you're KIS, you have to keep waiting for those things to happen right now, because clearly 5v5 team fights have not been going in their favor.
It certainly have. What we've seen them do best at is getting these picks with the Gragas ult and the Lissandra snares. So if they continue to do that, maybe they'll stand a chance in picking off some of their squishier targets, but it's going to get to a point where they're not going to be able to ult the Gangplank or do anything to the Gangplank. Trundle's going to be unkillable. Ezreal's going to be so shifty, it's going to be impossible for them to really do anything to, like, lock him down and put him out of position. Bard's going to be, like, worthless in the sense that he's not a priority target, and Trundle's going to be unkillable.
Yeah, and as of right now, things are looking good for Lobsters. They should secure this Cloud Dragon relatively soon, with the bottom lane being pushed in. I think as long as Lobsters play the fights properly, they should be fine.
Yeah, they seem to not be able to decide what they want to do, and that's going to be an issue if Rift Herald expires.
Yes.
It looks like they keep wanting to shove in tier 2 bottom or mid, and then rotate to take Dragon, but they never drop. Yeah, the Cloud Drake. But they
do the Cloud Drake.
Do the Cloud Drake, or take bottom, do something. But if you just dropped Rift Herald mid, you'll be able to at least take one of the 2 objectives on the bottom side of the map.
Alright, thank you. They're doing the Cloud Drake. However, KIS, no! There's a word there. Don't do the Baron. Okay, so this is going to force them off the Cloud Dragon, and KIS will subsequently also be forced off the Baron because they did know that they got spotted out. So, interesting, probably 100% unintentional, but that's another way that Lobster's time just got wasted.
Yeah.
They have a Christmas tree worth of wards set around the Cloud Dragon. They decide to take half an hour to decide if they want to, and the moment they do it, KIS, at the perfect time, decide to go for a Baron.
Yeah. And at that same moment, they basically wasted this Rift Herald. Rift Herald now not in a position to really push as they try to siege up. The best option they have now is to drop it, hope it gets a charge.
Oh boy, that's a massive Tempered Fate coming through. Can KIS defend this one? Akihiko up in the front line, tanking a lot of damage for his team, but KIS Gaming are coming out on top in this fight so far. It will be the 1 kill onto the support, but they are able to take out the jungler. KIS Gaming, higher health bars, higher playmaking, better looking situation. Did they go back in? Yes, they do. Kono goes for the reinitiation, gets taken out for it, though, and they're not able to pick up Wa either.
Kono needs to do that when he has Zhonya's, and then that play works. But without Zhonya's, he's really unable to do anything. And they did get the charge off of the Rift Herald, which is good. But there was no need to fight that. Once you put Rift Herald down, you're free to take the Dragon, because they have to answer the Rift Herald, or else that turret dies. So they decide to try and have their cake and eat it too by taking a team fight after dropping Rift Herald, because they waste so much time trying to figure out what they wanted to do. They waste Rift Herald, and because they waste Rift Herald, their buff, they basically only get a 1-for-1 trade out of it, or 1-for-2 trade out of it.
Yeah.
And now it looks like they are going right back to Dragon.
Yes, now, the fact that the Cloud Dragon's been up this long is slightly irritating, but alas, Lobster Gang Esports finally initiated. There should be nothing to stop them from securing this. There we go.
Thank God. So that's the first time I think I've ever really seen a dragon dance like that go on for that long. Usually a dragon dance is a lot more bloody and happens a lot faster. That was like a 5-minute long dance around trying to figure out what objective they wanted to take, which is a bit crazy. But right now, half the damage on the tier 2 done. Cloud Drake gone, 2-for-1. Ultimately a positive trade off the Rift Herald power play.
Yes, and now Lobsters are looking for a peck. They might just find it. KIS Gaming step a little too far forward here.
They just back out and walk away, right? Or are they about to get caught?
They might get caught in the rotation. That is Tempered Fate City right there for support only, and lands on 2 members. Doesn't look like Lobster's able to follow up though, so it's just the ulti to scare KIS away.
Now they just siege they 4-1. At this point, as long as GP doesn't get caught, GP is going to basically be free to do whatever they want, because they're going to have to send 2 people up, and when they send 2 people up, they lose this this mid turret.
Yep, and Kono not respecting the fact that Ari can do that, gets punished for it, but they might just get damage down in return. Wa goes down immediately, and now Gluzgane's trying to escape as well. The charm, there it is, but can he get away with the movement speed? No, he can. One more barrel will do it. Dazaran with another kill to come through, and now KIS Gaming might be able to secure a third for the road. Train game in trouble. He's going to get hit by the stun. Oranges means he will be okay. Able to escape that one, but more summoners burnt on the side of Lobsters and more advantages for KIS.
Yeah, so I didn't get to see where they were, but from what it looked like to me is that they really, the two carries for KIS Lobster Gaming were too far up, which is super unfortunate because without any real tank, it's basically a free engage. Glutes decides to make the decision to engage first before he gets engaged upon, but that ultimately results in both two of their players' deaths and a bunch of summoners burned as well.
Yeah, and you know, if I'm jinxing this, my apologies to KIS, but they're looking so much better right now. If this was KIS Gaming at the start of the season, they would have already been lost. The game would have been 24 minutes. They wouldn't have responded to these decisions that Lobsters are making the way they are now, and I'm just really happy this team's playing at the level that they're at. Even though they are still down on gold, they're playing down on gold correctly.
Yeah. So I definitely agree with the second latter part of what you're saying, in that they are definitely playing better since the start of the season. However, I think a lot of this game is resulting down to Lobster not really knowing what they want to do and being indecisive. They had a chance to really take control of this game, and they decided to pass by that opportunity, and instead now are in a position where basically they're going to have to from what it looks like, if a fight doesn't start, they're going to have to 50-50 a Baron.
That would be a great way for either team to give over the game, to put it one way.
And by the way, to point this out even further, if it's a 50-50, KIS Gaming has the jungle level smite lead.
Yes, they do, and also a little bit of an overlooked fact is they have the side positioning, in the sense the blue team will be able to access the Baron pit a lot easier than the red team will. And if you're talking Baron Asher against Gragas, Lissandra, Braum, that can be a little scary if KIS play it right.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue. So moving forward, we are looking at this ability, what it is. Great war coverage on the Baron, so KIS Gaming is going to see whenever Lobster gets the opportunity to come forward to try to make this Baron play as they begin to siege up this. Eventually, Lobster is going to have to either ult the top wave, which I'm assuming Ezreal or GP are going to do very soon, but that's going to remove a lot of the fight pressure from GP if he doesn't ult.
Yeah, and so far, KIS doing a good job at defending. They've stalled out the game to the 28-minute marker, and only a 2-turret deficit, only a 4,000 gold advantage, very roughly, on the side of Lobster Gang Esports. All it takes is one good fight for suddenly the game to be in favor of KIS.
Yeah, one good team fight, and I think they probably take the two. Basically, they can take a good team fight mid, right? And then they just run it down mid, get tier 1, get tier 2, and then they can rotate Baron, probably take Baron on the way out, or at best force another fight if it's clean enough. The first fight's clean enough.
Yeah, and so far so good. They're gonna have to be a little careful when they're doing that sieging though. Kono taking a bit of damage, which automatically prevents them from being able to fight, and possibly a pick in the jungle here. Jazaran's gonna go down. Kono, good thing he didn't take that glacial path, or else he might have been joining his teammate. And that looks like there'll be a dragon and a turret subsequently to follow for Lobster Gang Esports.
Yeah, turret falls down. I actually don't think they're gonna get the dragon because the dragon's on such a long timer. I guess they have 15 seconds to wait. That's a lot of time wasting just standing around, milling around dragon, waiting for the dragon to spawn. They probably could be using this time a little bit more efficiently.
Maybe push down the bottom wave. Wouldn't be bad for them either, seeing how Trundle could probably solo it with where they are in this stage of the game, but nonetheless, it is still the decision made by Lobsters. They will 100% secure themselves their third dragon and first Infernal of the game.
I'm surprised during this whole opportunity train game didn't ult that wave top. They lost a lot of gold and a lot of XP in that fashion. Not doing that. And they also let a lot of charge damage fall onto their top T1 turret. But that is not like a big turret at this point in time in the game.
Yeah. And oh no. Kono is caught out. Support only
That
please
should be
picks up the
Baron.
kill. And yeah, I took the words right out of my mouth. That should indeed be Baron Asher for Lobster King Esports. Maybe giving KIS a little too much respect as no one looks like they're rotating over.
I actually think they're deciding not to do the Baron, even though that should be the first call.
Oh, they're going for the play. They do land Tempered Fate onto the ED carry, but is it going to matter in the end? The skill shot's not quite landing for Lobsters. And KIS Gaming, once again, able to get out and waste even more time.
Lobster needs to be decisive. Now they're going to make a Baron play call, but at this point in time, is the Baron play going to be too late to do it? They're not going to take it extreme. They may take it extremely. Oh, they're looking at bait.
Come on, go for it! No. No one from KIS are in position, and they're trying to bait it. Oh no.
So, they're about to kill Selmy.
No, they're not, actually. Now they're in a good position to get some good damage onto them. Maybe picking up a kill. Selmy's gonna get taken very low. Flash as well from Train Game. He's not. No, he will go down after about 20,000 abilities are used on the side of Lobsters. Finally, they pull the switch after their nest gets found out. Now the top turret will go down.
They could have just taken that. Honestly, what should have happened there is Jin should have scouted that with his long-range skill shot spell, and then saw that the Dragon Baron wasn't being taken, and probably actually, in fact, popped them while he shot across. Don't do it. Selmy walks up, almost gets away. In fact, probably would have gotten away, but Dazaran, I guess in a panic, tried to ult while he was moving, and his mouse probably moved, and ulted no one.
Yes. And another opportunity by Lobster King Esports to seize the Baron that they don't go for, which now, beforehand, they did not have to give KIS as much respect as they gave them. They were the gold lead, they had wards, they had dragons, they had everything they would want. Now they actually do have to give KIS respect. With a 32-minute marker, if someone face checks, it's going to be death.
Certainly is. They try to set up their death push of their own, but Weijian is more astute to that, and Astro shots shoots out his skill shot and gets Braum in the process.
Yeah, and now Gluzgin's trying to get a combo here, barely able to get out. Kono somehow survives that, but the same's not going to be said for Selmy, as he gets absolutely massacred by the Lobsters.
Oh, Kono nearly going down here.
No, alright. Lincoln Cole cast a curse on that one. Now Lobster King Esports, with the newfound confidence of taking out two members of KIS Gaming, will go for the Baron, and 100% will secure it.
Yeah. Baron's secured at this point now. I guess with two turrets down, you probably can just walk it down mid, look for a team fight, look for another pick by Gluzgans. Gluzgan's doing a good job, though I think, if anything, we just saw what happens if he does miss his charm and ults in after it, because if he does that, that usually ends up with him dying. So that's going to be something very close that we have to watch.
Yeah, and right now, KIS Gaming are at an actual gold deficit of a pretty nasty 8,000 right now. They've done a great job at stalling the game out so far, though. What do they have to do in order to keep that up?
Stall the game out. At this point, they basically have to be able to get picks off of Gluzgan missing charms and ulting in and mispositioning. If they can continue to get a couple picks here on the Ezreal maybe and the Ahri, then they'll be in a position to probably hold out through this Baron and continue to scale well, and maybe this split push that Aatrox is trying to do will become successful.
Yeah.
Aatrox, however, not choosing to get a Hydra or Tiamat, so he is in a position to really do absolutely nothing when it comes to this sort of stuff, except for get chased down like he is.
Ooh, this could be very dangerous by KIS Gaming if they continue to defend this turret. Selmy could come around the corner. There's the Glacial Path. There's a good set of damage. A great Tempered Fate out of support only, followed by the GPO. KIS are looking not so good in this team fight as Lobsters with the proactive play punish the defense. Juan looking for another kill. Mystic shot. Doesn't matter if it lands or not. The stopwatch looks pretty, but that's all that it's going to be there for. The triple kill for Juan and the turn by Lobster Gang Esports.
And I think at this point, this is going to be game. Great job. A chance by KIS to, hold out for the long as they can. But eventually, the lead that was given to them they gave over to Lobster is too much to come by, as Wheeler Walker now has really no option left but to either hide in his base or die.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there was only really one option there. Train Game also gets out. May not have been the most decisive game, but it's still another victory to come in for Lobster Gang Esports. That's going to be their 9th one on the board here. Very good stuff.
Great job by the Lobsters there. I picked them. I did a great job there. My skin never lets me down, even though now I'm in an incredible amount of pain. Looking forward, I guess, is there anything interesting you want to look at these builds or these scores that we say before we move on to damage?
Honestly, if I had to pick something, it wouldn't even necessarily be a stat, but more so a performance evaluation. Train Game stepped up this game. This is really, when I saw the GP pick, I was like, okay, yeah, this should be good for Lobsters, but I didn't think it'd be this great for them. This was an exceptionally solid GP performance that I haven't seen out of this player all season long, and honestly, it's colored me impressed.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. I hate always saying this sort of thing. Wheeler Walker is probably not one of the best top laners in here, so I wonder if that has anything to do with this, or if he's really just a GP god, and that is something we can come to expect out of him. I would like to see him do this against probably one of the upper half of the top laners that we have in this ecosystem of duo esports. Before I'm like, that's very impressive for you to do. Last game, they did, though, exactly what they needed to do in terms of how they need to play around and win this game. I would have to say, in a performance evaluation, Tranquilo, stepping outside of the top lane, did very remarkably well in Jhin, the role of Jhin, 4-2-5, 246 CS, with also leading the game in gold, always being able to seem to position himself well in fights. Moving on, we can look at the damage, however, pretty even game. Trundle really not doing much. I guess the Kiko maybe not really comfortable with Trundle, or maybe never finding the team fights, because usually you expect in a game of a 35-minute game a little more damage. That's less than 1,000 damage per, less than 100 damage per minute that Akiko is outputting during the game. However, GP, Trains Game, and Way Asian both coming up pretty strong with nearly 20k damage performances apiece. So I guess the last thing to look at, though, is going to be the vision score and the control wards placed. Shame on you, Trains Game. You did so well in the game, but you don't buy a control ward.
Well, I'll let the performance speak for itself and not the lack of vision wards, because I do think he did very solid this game. Still, maybe something to jot down on the notebook. If we're looking at exceptionally solid performances, then support only and Braum as well also did really good in terms of vision score. Both supports doing very solid, 82 to 97. 97 obviously the better of the vision scores, but Selmy not slacking in the vision department either.
Yeah, it certainly was. Great job by all of them in terms of that. Very hard to play for a lead, but I guess when you are not given a ton of... when you're not really... The game's kind of up in the air to the last 5 minutes of the game, you do have the opportunity as a support to keep those control words up if you don't get discouraged.
Yeah, definitely the case, and KIS Gaming, once again, they had another good defense. They stalled out for as long as they could. Mind you, I do agree with you, some of that was on a lack of decisiveness out of the Lobsters, but nonetheless, KIS stayed in the game as long as they could, and eventually just kind of dispersed into something.
Into nothing.
Into nothing, yeah, that's the word.
So I guess with that, this does wrap up the final game of the night. So I guess we can look forward and preview these tomorrow's matches. There's only 2 on the slate, unfortunately, due to Los Eskimos folding. They will be Havoc versus AE, and then Naughty Nips versus Skillcap Gaming. I guess we would have to say that Havoc versus AE match is very good with Hero Termina in the lineup. We can see all sorts of craziness coming forward out of AE. Can Havoc, who seemed to do pretty well today, step up and continue with that building on these wins?
Yeah. I mean, Aether Esports have looked exceptionally better in the past couple of weeks. They're on, I believe, a 6-game hot streak right now. So ideally for them, they can keep that momentum against Havoc, who put on a good showing today as well. And right after that Nodi versus Skillcam, there'll be a very interesting game as Noyam's roster has taken some significant changes, to put it one way.
Yes, it certainly has. For that, however, I guess that's the end of the stream. I am your headcaster, John Warhood, and with me today was my play-by-play friend.
Yes, indeed. The one and only play-by-play caster, Blaze. Enjoyable to be casting with the headcaster of himself of Duo Esports. Great stuff either way, and we will be seeing you tomorrow.
Goodbye, everyone.